Yo, 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 yo. What's up, what's up, what's up? Give up the rock. And hello to my fellow revolutionaries. Can you just give me some type of indication that you can hear me up in here? Because I've gone live on multiple platforms here, and I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I really am live or not. Does look like there's a significant delay going on here. So if you are here, you can see me. I don't know why I can't see the screen from my end. Let's have a look-sees here. Ah, here we go. I think it's working. Holy crap. All right. Now, I was off yesterday, as you may be aware. But yeah, I was living in a tech world yesterday, trying to figure out how to get a restream situation going on. And I think I have figured it out. I think I've figured it out. So we're going to be going live from multiple places from now on, ladies and gentlemen. We will be going live from three options, actually. We're going to be going live from Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And this will just be the norm from now on. But like, my job is to fix up all of my technical difficulties. But I think it's going all right. I think I've figured it out, actually. I think I'm live everywhere. I can't check Twitch. Let me have a look at that. Yeah, it looks like I'm live on Twitch. It's okay. YouTube seems to be. It's 4 seconds delayed. That's weird. I wonder why it's saying that. YouTube seems to be okay. The restream software itself is okay. I think I've figured this one out. I think I've got it. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself, okay, because I don't, not the tech savvy type. I think I pulled a rabbit out of the hat with this one. You got some text over your face. Yeah, I saw that. That's the restream one. So, hello Avalove, by the way. Hello 4IS. Hello Icy Skiing in the house. Squeeb as well. I wish I could monitor the chat better though. That's annoying. I might have to figure out how to do that better. Where's chat? There it is. Okay. Lovely. You can't actually see that. Yeah, it's hard to read from my end. Please bear with me. I am making this up as I go. It will go live. We'll do it live. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Well, why aren't you showing the messages? I'm sure there's multiple messages here. Rabble, rabble, rabble. Ah, I saw that one. Yeah, there we go. At least those messages are coming through. Thank you, 4AS, for that. So yeah, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going on quite a journey. And depending who we've got in the audience today, whoever's done the roll call, I'm pretty sure it's just Australians so far that have done the roll call. So we may start off with a local issue first, shall we? And people might have been waking up to the news that Anthony Albanese, our supreme leader here. Oh, Jag, Twitch Files represent. Oh, he is on the Twitch Files. How we going, Jag? Good to have you. Good to have you. And I get to see that from my end as well. I wonder why it doesn't come up here on the chat. I'm going to try and figure that out now. I can't see you on the actual stream screen there, Jag. And we love your commentary, so we're gonna figure that out. Why isn't Jag coming up there? That stream chat is really delayed. I'm gonna try and fix that live. Again, I do apologize for all this technical stuff. Hello, Mark Olivero in the house. No way. It's all coming down. How are ya? How are ya? Well, I'm going to try and fix the restream chat. See if that works. No, it's the same thing. Maybe I have to refresh that system somehow. Oh. Oh! And it shut itself. The chat is ready to display messages. Okay. I guess that's a good thing. We'll see if that fixes itself from here on in. Yeah. We've actually got an international audience now. So we're going to still start off with an Australian issue. I'm sorry to say, Jag. But yeah, if you don't mind some Australian politics, we're going to be going down a strange and perplexing situation, I believe, in terms of what's going on with Albanese and why has there been this recent announcement to try and basically, I'm going to come down on Iran. It seems like the Australian government has decided that it's going to kick out Iranian diplomats, like basically gut out the Iranian embassy and kick them out of the country. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like I need to make my nut. Well, you've come to the right place, Mark Olivero. This is where people traditionally come to hang out while they make their nut, actually. So you're in the right place. I hope you enjoy making your nut here. So yeah, join us all. But yeah, the Australian government's up to some weird shenanigans at the moment. So we're going to get to the bottom of that today. Let's have a look at an article though that seeks to explain this situation. It's from none other than the trusty Australian broadcaster. So I'm sure you're all very excited to go down this type of a rabbit hole. But let's do it. Let's do it some justice as well. Who's gonna nut? No one's going to nut. You know, this is actually an interesting term, and I'd like to know some Americans' context and opinion on this. But we are actually, this is a turn of phrase that I haven't actually come across until South Park started talking about it. But like, making your nut is like, it seems to be a description of someone trying to make bank. They got to make some cash and protect their nest egg, their future investments, all that sort of stuff. So that's what protecting your nut is, if you were wondering. 4IS. I need to make my nut. It's a way to etch a living in this evil capitalist world that we all find ourselves in. So interesting. I'm gonna have to figure this out because the stream chat is really out of sync with the video, unfortunately. But here it is, all right? Not the way I hear it used to. I hear it used. Yeah, I know, it's very different. And that's why I would like some American opinions on this one, because that's not how I understand making what needing to nut is. It's changed over time, apparently. But yeah, okay, here it is. Israeli government claims credit for pushing Albanese to expel Iran. Sounds pretty crazy, right? I guess there's a lot of weird stuff going on there that like the Israeli government is taking credit for Iranian diplomats being kicked out of the country. It's a bold move by the old Israelis, but they got to claim victories where they can get them these days because they're literally under attack by the entire world from a geopolitical standpoint. So they got to get wins on the board where they can get them. I hear it's a metaphor about squirrels. That makes sense, I guess, because that's what squirrels do, scurrying around, making their nut. So here it is. In short, the Israeli government says it shamed Australia to act against Iran following revelations it orchestrated anti-Semitic attacks. As a repercussion, Iran's diplomats have been expelled and its Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps will be labeled a terrorist organization. Now, that is huge, right? Because basically, it sounds really, from the way that it's described, the Revolutionary Guard Corps sounds like some, I guess you would say radical organization. But that's only in the same way that the Chinese army is called the People Liberations Army. It's just a nice description for what used to be a revolutionary armed force that ended up helping to take government, so involved in a revolutionary event of sorts. And you could definitely describe what happened in Iran as a revolution. They went from being a theocracy to they went from being autocracy to a theocracy of some sort. So you could argue that they've actually revolutionized their entire political system and their societal structure. And yeah, the Revolutionary Armed Corps, Guard Corps is really just their army. And so Australia is going to be not only slapping people in the face and kicking their diplomats out of our country, but we're also going to be labeling a foreign defense force. Let's use the language that we use, the double think language that we use in this day and age. The defense force of Iran is now going to be labeled as a terrorist organization. So that's a big call, again, geopolitically, like a massive call, I would say. Matt Bond in the house. How are we? How are we today? Oh, so Albanese is fence sitting. He should be on the South Park writing staff. Pick a lane. And yet they heavily criticized Albo last week for recognizing Palestine. And so I think that's what this is a reaction to. I was speaking to Frank Wisner earlier on the Discord, and like we were having just a chat about like what the hell's going on here, and it does seem that this is a balancing act. Oh, Lop Jeff, what did I miss, brother? How are you, brother? Welcome to the stream chat, and yeah, welcome today. We're going to be looking at a variety of issues, but so far we're just keeping it localized for the Australian scene and trying to figure out what the hell Albanese is doing with regards to, kicking foreign diplomats out of the country, basically. And then apparently also going to the extent of classifying the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. Big call, because if we were at war with someone, they could just turn around under international law and try and categorize our army, our defense force, as a terrorist organization because it poses a violent threat against us as a nation, or against them as a nation, I guess, or a culture. So it's a bit of a stretch of the old, diplomatic legalese, let's just call it. But we've seen the exact same thing happening in America, right? Trump needs an argument, needs a reason, a solid justification to go into Latin America, and especially into Mexico. And, in the liberal world we live in, the world of free trade agreements and important economic ties, you can't just march on Mexico, right? It seems to be America's largest trading partner. Which is pretty crazy if you think about the players that are involved. Then Canada, then China. Anyway, you can't just walk all over someone that you're so tied to economically. So Trump has recently labeled the cartels as terrorist organizations, meaning that he can give directives to use force against the cartels on Mexican soil because it is a constitutional obligation of his to look after the American people. So the cartels are obviously active in America because there's a lot of issues with drug-related crime and obviously health problems, massive health problems. It's turned itself into a huge crisis because the amount of people that are dying as a result of drugs being smuggled into the country, and it's reportedly from the cartels. So he's just labeled them as a terrorist organization and he can attack them. If that is the formula in the Trumpian 2.0 era, then having us label the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as us as a nation in Australia doing that lends itself to the idea that we could then kind of attack or be involved in operations that openly attack Iran. So is this the precursor to something else that's happening? Are they about to bomb another nuclear facility in Iran? Time will tell. But you know, the worst part about this, I think, from an optics perspective, obviously there's a lot to go wrong with this, and I don't want to jump the gun there, but terrorists recognize terrorists. Scathing and erudite uh, insights, as always, Jag. Ain't that the goddamn truth? That's for sure. This Oz guy did a great overview of Iran's history, Mr. M history, getting up to speed with Iran, 1906 to 2025. That's pretty cool because a lot of the stuff that you see out there in terms of history is kind of the tipping point where the Shah went down to the new Islamic, I guess, yeah, state that took over after the king went down. So, yeah, anyone interested, please go over to the Discord. It's in the stream chat, and I can put that actually, the Discord invitation. I'm going to try this and see if this works. If I put a restream out, then a restream message out, it should actually appear on all the places that I'm streaming. So hopefully this actually works. Here's the invite for the Discord if you're interested in joining the conversation over there and getting involved in some of our propaganda, which is top-notch propaganda, if you are wondering. Now, why the fuck can't I see the whole chat window? That's fucking bullshit. I'm pissed off about that. Should be able to see the whole thing. No. I have to fix that. Anyway. Wait, this isn't Counter-Strike. You have terrorists versus terrorists. How can you have terrorists versus terrorists? It's supposed to be counter-terrorists versus the terrorists. Well, the link works. Thank you. And hopefully it works across platforms. Thank you. I do appreciate that for the live feedback going on there. So yeah, here we are. It looks bad from an optics perspective. Honestly, from an optics perspective, it does look poorly, I would say, that we are doing this and Israel is laying claim to that as a personal victory for them. Like, God, that's really distasteful stuff, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at the article then, shall we? The Israeli government is claiming credit for Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and intelligence agencies publicising Iranian involvement in anti-Semitic attacks on Australian soil, as well as kicking Tehran's envoy out of Canberra. On Tuesday, Mr. Albanese and ASIO Director General Mike Burgess accused Iran of directing at least 2 attacks in Sydney and Melbourne. These are big claims, right? Because there's so much of this banter that goes on about, you know, anti-Semitic attacks and anti-Semitic behavior going on, like across the Western world at the moment. But like I hear about the ones that happen in Australia, and there have been cases where they've accused certain people of doing things, and it's basically led nowhere. They thought that this was this huge operation, and like nothing came of it. Now we have ASIO coming out, which is kind of like our, you know, intelligence services for the international audience. So I don't know, maybe you could say it's kind of like our CIA, but it seems to be a conglomeration of many things that the Americans probably have multiple departments for. But yeah, ASIO is coming out and making this all official. Up until now, it was just trial by media, and it was, I think, falling by the wayside. Most of it ended up leading really nowhere. Weird how Iran did anti-Semitic attacks in Australia, but not anti-Australian attacks in Australia. That's a funny point. That's a good call. Yeah, you'd think if they're going to go to that level and have been designated a terrorist organization, they would have done some anti-Australian attacks, right? Wouldn't these anti-Semitic attacks in Australia just be anti-Australian attacks? That is a fucking hilarious point, right? Why are we segregating people by culture or by religion here? That is not the liberal way. We're all one big happy community, diverse, but one happy community. If it's an attack on anyone, whether it's at a synagogue or not, it's an attack on all Australians. not Iran attacking Jewish Australians or Jewish people in Australia, but it's an attack on Australian soil. So interesting stuff going on there. Why isn't the conversation being had along those lines? Very, very interesting call. Let's check out this Mike Burgess guy. I want to check out this guy. See what he's... Australian intelligence chief. He looks like an intelligence chief, don't you reckon? Hey? He's good at snooping around places. Look at that. He's your man. Mike Burgess. I feel like we've looked up Mike Burgess as well before for something. This has come up before. Australia's Security Intelligence Organisation, current Director General of Security. He was appointed on the 16th of September, 2019. So what does that put him under? Does that put him under the appointment of who? Who would have appointed him? Scott Morrison? He looks like a spook, almost as spooky as Dutton. Like Dutton is particularly scary looking. This guy just looks like some like hardcore deep state figure, right? He's seen some things, man. I've seen some things. All right. So in protest, the government announced that it would expel Iran's ambassador to Australia, Ahmed Sadeghi, and 3 other diplomats. Australia's diplomatic mission in Tehran has been suspended, and officials have already left the country. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps will also be labelled as a terrorist organisation under Australian law. Mr. Albanese was personally called out again for the move, with Iran echoing Benjamin Netanyahu's criticism from last week. Officials in Israel had refused to comment for hours after the announcement, pointing only to a statement from the Israeli embassy in Canberra welcoming the move. But in a press briefing overnight, Israeli government spokesperson David Mencer effectively accused Australia of being shamed into acting. Like, doesn't this just look so weak, right, on the world stage, where you have people making decisions like this, and then, you know, pot shots from Israel not even just saying, look, we did this, we helped manage to get this, but like, they've been shamed into doing it. It's not even the fact that, yeah, look at what's happened. Isn't that nice? It suits our interests as the Israeli government, but Australians just have done it out of shame. They've just done it out of shame. He looks like a Breaking Bad extra. That's hilarious. Squeebalicious in the house. Yo, Squeebs. But yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff nonetheless. So let's have a look at what this guy said, because I've got a clip from Israel praises Australians' actions against Iran. Let's have a listen to this one, shall we? I want to hear what this guy has to say.
We certainly see it from Israel that Australia taking the threats against Israel and the Jewish people, Jewish Australians living in Australia, for the Australian government to take those
Jewish Australians living in Australia, Jewish Australians, Australia, Jewish.
Threats seriously is a positive outcome. It is, of course...
Like, what gives these guys the right to speak on behalf of, like, all Jewish people around the world? Like, it's just fucking outrageous. It is. It's really, really outrageous that they get to speak like they own all Jewish people. Like, what's the rhetoric like? Like, why has it come to this? Why has it come to this? That a win for people that have been attacked on Australian soil is a win for the state of Israel. Why do they get to personally take credit for everything that has to do with Jewish people? I don't get it.
Of course, a matter for the Australian government, the actions they take, but be in no doubt the government of Iran, I don't say the people of Iran, the government of Iran are a wholly negative influence on world affairs. They desire, they openly say they wish to wipe this country off the face of the earth. And they have around the world, in London and now it seems in Australia as well, are actively seeking to attack Jewish communities and other Israeli interests or targets in Israel.
What? So there's the association. Speak for yourself is not real. I know, right? And like, there's the association right there. He said like they're attacking Jewish communities and thus basically Israel. And so the world better wake up to the fact that this is what's happening. One attack on Jewish communities anywhere is akin to attacks on Israel itself. It's fucking outrageous. The audacity of it is immense. And especially when you have so many Jewish organizations around the world that are not only anti-Zionist, but they're anti the war in Palestine or particularly in Gaza at the moment, and the blatant genocide or ethnic cleansing of an entire group. They don't speak on behalf of everyone. It's like the South Park joke from back in the day when who was it? Stan's dad, Randy Marsh, goes on the TV show and gets coked into saying the N-word. And then he has to apologize to Jesse Jackson like he's the king of black people or something like that and can forgive him for this. And what's his name? Tolkien. Tolkien takes like massive exception to it. And it's like Jesse Jackson, he doesn't speak on behalf of all of black people out there. It's the same dichotomy. It's so weird. CC, you're getting CC'd already. I wonder if your CC doesn't get picked up here. CC. Dang, said Israel keeps saying an attack on them. CC is an attack on all Jews. It's an attack against. I've been muted. Can't say Jew. Yeah, well, it's a sensitive word. It's a sensitive word, apparently. But you're not appearing in my censored comments, so. The word naggers. Yes, that scene. Fucking hilarious. Such a hilarious setup, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that poor guy. What a setup. So funny, man. Such a funny scene. Alright, where were we? We've taken this action because Iran has attacked Australians. No other country is involved in terms of that conclusion. Wait. No, I've skipped heaps of stuff here. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made a very forthright intervention when it comes to Australia, a country in which we have a long history of friendly relations, Mr. Mensa said in response to a question from the ABC. He made those comments because he did not believe that the actions of the Australian government had gone anywhere near far enough to address the issues of anti-Semitism. Why is Israel the world Jewish police? You know, when Jews are being, attacked across the world, they need to step in and protect their comrades from other countries. They're what makes them the world police in that regard? He made very forthright comments about the Prime Minister himself. We certainly see it from Israel, that Australia taking the threats against Israel and the Jewish people, Jewish Australians living in Australia, for the Australian government to take those threats seriously is a positive outcome. Australia's Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke said it was complete nonsense for Israel to claim credit. There was not a minute between us receiving this assessment from ASIO and us starting to work through what we would do as a response, Mr. Burke told ABC Radio National. We've taken this action because Iran has attacked Australians. There you go, dilemmas. There's one for you. Right? It has attacked Australians, not Jewish Australians. Australians generally. Attack on one is attack on all. No other country is involved in terms of that conclusion. Last week, diplomatic furor erupted as Mr. Netanyahu labelled Mr. Albanese as a weak leader who had betrayed Israel and abandoned Australia's Jews. See, again, has maybe abandoned the ones that believe in the authority of the state of Israel. But I don't think all communities in Australia do believe in the state of Israel or its right to openly defy UN conventions and openly conduct war crimes on other people. I don't think that's a consensus issue for sure. And yeah, the weak leader part, what is it about? Eh? It's definitely got to do with recognizing the statehood of Palestine. The day before, Israel announced that it would tear up the visas of Australian diplomats working in the West Bank in protest against Albanese government's move to recognize Palestine, a Palestine state, and block controversial Israel figures wanting to travel to Israel. Jewish Australians felt threatened, Mr. Mensah said. The relationship between this country and Australia was damaged, and so it welcomed that after the Prime Minister Netanyahu's timely intervention, that these actions have been taken by Australia's government. Mr. Mensah added that it was up to Australia to decide how to respond to the threat of foreign interference from Iran. Really? Thank you, Jewish World Police. That's so nice of you. Australians get to decide how to deal with foreign interference. The government of Iran are a wholly negative influence on world affairs. They openly say it, and they wish to wipe this country, Israel, off the earth, he said. Yeah, we heard him say that. They have around the world, in London, and now it seems in Australia as well, are actively seeking to attack Jewish communities and other Israeli interests on... Is that true? Have they actually claimed credit for... Let's fact check that one. Has Iran taken credit for terrorist attacks or attacks on Jewish communities or synagogues in England or the UK? Like, I wonder if that's true or if that's just like, adding to the sensationalism of everything. They have around the world in London, and now it seems in Australia as well, are actively seeking to attack Jewish communities and other Israeli interests or targets in Israel. Iran also called Albanese weak. Not too long after, Iran's foreign minister took a page out of Mr. Netanyahu's playbook and called out Mr. Albanese personally online. I'm not in the habit of joining causes with wanted war criminals, but Netanyahu is right about one thing. Australia's PM is indeed a weak politician. Saeed Abbas. Aragchi wrote on X. Scathing attack there. Iran is home to among the world's oldest Jewish communities, including dozens of synagogues, accusing Iran of attacking such a site in Australia, while we do our utmost to protect them in our country, makes zero sense. Iran is paying the price for Australia's people's support for Palestine. Heavy, man. Heavy. It is heavy, right? It's an interesting interpretation of the situation. Australia's people's support for Palestine is causing Iran to pay a price. So the Australian people have spoken in their mass protests and demonstrations. It takes a lot to get Australians out on the streets, I'll tell you that much for free. And yeah, Iran now pays the price for that. Canberra should know better than to attempt to appease a regime led by war criminals. Doing so only emboldens Netanyahu and his ilk. That's pretty fucking bang on, I'm not going to lie there. There's no information indicating that Iran has publicly claimed responsibility for terrorist attacks on Jewish communities or synagogues in the United Kingdom. However, the context does contain numerous accusations and reports linking Iran to such activities. The UK Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee has stated that the threat from Iran includes potential physical attacks and assassinations, targeting dissidents and Jewish individuals. Interesting. There's got a source. Fair enough. Iran is accused of using proxy groups to target UK and Western interests. A US report found that Iran has been hiring criminal networks in Europe to carry out attacks on Jewish people. Interesting. Iran and Hezbollah have been accused of being responsible for many anti-Jewish terrorist operations and plots around the world for several decades. Committees of the UK Parliament, there's your source there. The US, UK, and Canada and other European countries have issued a joint condemnation of the attempts of the Iranian intelligence service to kill. Guardian, 6 hours ago. Ooh, let's have a look at this. Iran has a long history of clandestine attacks abroad to further its ends. Jason Burke, international security correspondent. When was this written? Can't be 6 hours ago. Oh my God, it was. Iran's involvement in clandestine violence and espionage overseas takes many forms, but all have a single aim: to win advantage for Tehran by striking unexpectedly at the soft underbelly of enemies. It's a strategy that dates back to the 1979 revolution and is rooted in the pragmatic, if regretful, assessment of Iran's continuing weakness on the conventional battlefield. Australian authorities have not revealed exactly what convinced them that Iran was behind a series of anti-Semitic attacks in the country in recent months. But the charge is plausible. Experts say plausible. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is a situation where people are speculating. Is that right? Is that what we're hearing here? There's not actually, beyond any reasonable doubt / actual evidence that Iran has been involved. It seems that it's plausible. Is that what's going on? Am I reading this right? Is this the guy who used to talk BS that he's completely forgot he said about Albo last week? These people live in a different world. The most savage burn for Albo. He's the last to get picked for either team. Yeah, I know, right? Like that's the situation now. He's weak from the perspective of both Israel and Iran. Yeah, I know, right? The world news today, people make long-lasting political calls based on vibes. I know, right? That seems to be the sentiment here. And like, is this the guy? Is this security expert Jason Burke? Is it the minister? Oh, Tony Burke. Oh, okay. Fuck, I was gonna say. No way. Wonder if they're related. Iran sees this a cheap way of fighting undeclared wars. Now, where were we going? Where were we? We don't know the full details, but the Australians wouldn't publicly blame Iran unless they were pretty confident, said Matthew Redhead, an expert in state threats and intelligence at London's Royal. Yeah, right. Yeah, look, I'm pretty sure, but it's also pretty easy, like diplomatically, to see what's going on. Like, they've been openly attacking Israel by, recognizing Palestine. It's pissed off some prominent Jewish people, and now they got to claw back some favor and say, hey, we also, though, declared Iran its army a terrorist organization, and we kicked out their scummy diplomats. We did the right thing. Don't worry. And so, like, they can play both sides of that political, I don't know, tennis match. That's horrible. You know what? They're both right. It is pretty fucking weak, isn't it? Just pretty weak. Like, where's the evidence? I want to see what's going on here. Iran sees this as a cheap way of fighting an undeclared war against its opponents and rallying audiences it wants to impress in the Middle East. They don't have the resources to fight any other way. There's a long history here. One of Iran's goals is to distract enemies and so divert any concerted direct attack. Until recently, analysts were able to argue that the strategy has been relatively successful, fending off foes at limited cost. Yet it failed this summer. The damage done to the country's nuclear program in the 2-week war with Israel and the US in June may be unclear, but a few doubt Tehran came off worst in these hostilities. See, the narrative, like they're really trying to frame this Western narrative, as far as I can see it, and like the reports that are coming out of the US. Yeah, just another mouthpiece whitewashing Israeli crimes. Yeah, pretty much. And like talk about whitewashing stories and history. Like even Trump, right? He got really excited when he bombed Iran's nuclear facilities to help out, basically smooth things over so Israel had to calm down when it came to Iran and like sign some type of peace deal or at least de-escalate tensions in the region. And he just fired the head of the security services. I can't remember. There's so many different security agencies in America, but one of the heads of the intelligence agencies in the US that wrote the report saying that the damage to Iran's nuclear facility was not as conclusive as Trump had made it out, and it's still there. It's still functional to a certain degree, and like Trump basically just fired that person, just told them, just set them packing, and because they did a report that didn't back up Trump's version of history, kind of thing. So there's a lot of whitewashing of history and war crimes and all that sort of stuff that's going on, and it's all surrounding Israel. It's all surrounding like what's going on with Is Not Rail. Will always be called weak when the Australian politician tries to walk the fence. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on, right? We don't elect Australian politicians based on global factors. Trumpet Party is a great example of a fail when you go to the polls with global views. That's hilarious. Yeah, but we don't. So, like, why aren't we picking sides on this one? We picked a side, which was, look, we're going to recognize Palestine. So let's stay away from dealing political games when it comes to Israel. But yeah, what's weak is bullying an entire region while you hide behind the Iron Dome. Yeah, well, when you've got the empire, the imperial core at your disposal, and all the money that comes with that, and the military, and the access to arms that comes with that. You know what I've been recently researching as well? You know who is a massive supplier of Israel as well? The Chinese. I thought it was just American. But the Chinese, since the early part of this decade, have massively been ramping up their support for not only Israel, not support, but selling arms to not only Israel, but a lot of people in the Middle East, a lot of the Arab world, which is quite interesting, actually. You know, what the real position is to actually sell arms to all the people that are fighting each other. That's where the business is at. It was a superficial attack, and Trump changed the media perception to say, only listen to him. It's his motive. It's also, he's not rails. We always walk the line, China and Taiwan. Freedom of navigation movements. But hey, keep trading with us. Yeah. Or, walking the line on this one. It just looks pretty shitty, I must say. And to hell with the consequences. British counter-terrorism police have arrested several Iranian nationals in connection with plots and national security threats. In the past, Iran has denied such accusations. For example, Argentina's High Court blamed Iran for attacks in 1992 and 1994, a charge which Iran denies. More recently, Tehran rejected accusations that it orchestrated anti-systemic attacks in Australia. Yeah, well, that's what we're looking at. So, thanks, Gemini. You're on fire. I've seen professionally, personally, Israel sells a lot of professional services. Hark back to your last stream. Okay, interesting. Well, we do as I guess this Israeli Mr. Mensa over here would say. Yes, there's a lot of ties between Australia and Israel, especially military ties. We do traditionally anyway. We've definitely supported each other a lot. I guess because of all the stuff that's gone down in the Middle East, let's be honest. The day before, Israel announced it would tear up visas of Australian diplomats. I think I read that before, yeah. Mr. Bagay said Iran was being wrongfully accused of the attacks in Australia and anti-Semitism around the world. Unfortunately, in these cases, they resort to blame shifting to justify their anti-Iranian policies. Doesn't have the same ring to it, buddy. Sorry. Anti-Semitic comes off so much more serious. No one cares about Iran. What is clear is that this decision to close this embassy in Iran seems to have been influenced by the internal developments in Australia. He argued that the focus should be on Israel's ongoing aggression in Gaza. Yeah, there's your point, Jag. This is just a deflection to get people to stop talking about Gaza. Apparently, the easiest thing to do is to accuse Iran of charges that have absolutely no real basis in order to divert public opinion from the realities in our region. The most important of which, the continuing genocide and killing in that region. Well. There it is. It's all a distraction. Look over there. Those pesky Iranians. Very good, Jerry Poppins. Nice to have you. To have you is nice. Very interesting. All right, let's have a look at what Albanese has to say for himself, shall we? This is from... it's from yesterday, I guess. 15 hours ago. Let's see what he has to say.
ASIO and AFP intelligence has obviously contributed to this, but was this a joint investigation with other countries?
No, it was primarily ASIO's investigation, and ASIO came to this determination. And they advised us yesterday morning, the Director General, Mike Burgess. They have been able to trace the whole line up, if you like, from the perpetrators who physically committed the crimes, the actions, right through to the funding of those criminal acts, and we're able to trace it through and
see, this is why, we constantly talk about this on this stream, but it's a relevant conversation. Just saying, this is the war that's going on, the dialectical relationship in politics that happens between democracy, so elected officials, and technocrats. They work hand in hand, and I think that we're getting to a point in which the technocrats, or the justification having experts that work for government, so like governance, as opposed to elected officials that are supposed to make decisions. You have people working in institutions making decisions, like important decisions. It's going to take over because like democracy is weak. What is happening here, and this is speculation, but I have worked in government for long enough to know that you will have a political figure and they're like, look, we're copping heat on this issue and we need to put out the fire. Go and produce me a report that looks into this issue or looks into some issue and gets me a particular result and gets me some type of framing that we can kind of change the conversation on this particular topic. And so they've probably gone to ASIO and just been like, look, give us something that makes people in the Arab world, particularly Iran, let's be honest, because they're public enemy number one when it comes to the stuff on Israel. They could have said something about Hezbollah potentially, or I don't know, maybe like some groups in Egypt. Maybe they could have picked anyone that kind of borders on Israel and gives them like a lot of problems. And here it is. They've said, look, just go out and produce something so we've got something else to work with. So it looks like we're not just going after Israel here. And here it is. You've got the head of the ASIOs come back with a report, found connections that are plausible connections that place Iran at the scene of the crime when it comes to anti-Semitic attacks in Australia. And you just act on this technocrat. Like the language he's using right now, he's the prime minister. He was elected the head of state, and he's just like, look, the report came out. You know, something has to be done. I didn't want to have to do it, but the report says it's time to kick them out of the country. Off with their heads. Get the diplomats out of here. They're all a bunch of terrorists. The report says. It's not me. The report says. And this is where it all comes down. It's experts will make the decisions and politicians will hide behind it. And you have to you have to at least ask the question in a scenario like that where you have a technocratic agency, an intelligence service that is the expert, which is what they're claiming here. They're the expert on this. If you have them and their expertise, why do you need someone to make calls on it? Why do you need the public figurehead at all? Just let the agency, the people that are responsible for this type of thing, write the reports and say, we're not dealing with Iran anymore. They're a bunch of terrorists. Democracy looks weak when it just relies on technocrats to do all of its job. It really does. It really does. I've stopped in to change my sleep listening material. Thank you, Jerry. Vote of confidence. I like it. BB and PBD called Israel the sixth eye in Five Eyes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Isn't that interesting? And it's a powerful eye. The calls have gone out to try to win back the PR battles that Israel is losing. Yeah, I think that's a good point. They are losing on the PR front massively. BB publicly stated social media needs tighter controls on their algorithms. I gotta rope that in because like this is where it's all taking flight at the moment. It's all the heat when it comes to the anti-Israeli sentiment because of their atrocities. It's all being fueled on social media. Hey, it's social. Hey, you can't stop people talking about stuff. Can't stop things trending. Even the algorithms love it because it gets eyeballs on things, and so they can sell more products to people. And see, this is the clash. The capitalists, the social media giants, they want their algorithms, controlling conversations, but as long as it meets the requirements of advertisers. So if people are talking about a topic, then they're going to let that one ride. They're not going to shut the conversation down completely. They're going to let it ride. Of course, Israel loves the Oz government pointing the finger at Iran. I'm sure Israel will use this in their propaganda against Iran. 100%. Yeah, see, look, the ASIO has come out with a report saying that they're involved in attacking Jews across the world. Why do we get the feeling that Albanese would be the PM to drag Aussies into another US war? Well, on this basis, you could see that happening, right? Well, look, again, and this is the thing with technocrats, right? He could just be like, look, these guys are planning attacks on Australian soil. And so, as I was saying earlier, we've got the game plan for 2025 here. It is literally along the lines of let's designate people as terrorists and then we can use violent force against them. You might not even have to claim go to war. Maybe they'll just ascend in Australian special forces into the region to sort out the terrorist organization that is the Revolutionary Guard Corps, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. Maybe that's what's going to happen now. BB publicly stated on social media, I read that one. TikTok's new public policy manager is a former IDF instructor and is already overhauling hate speech. Ooh, mental. There's a lot of hate speech to get through if you're doing that, in America or in the Western world generally. There's a lot of anti-Semitism that predates any of this type of Israel stuff. Let's be honest. It doesn't like my bit rate. Far out. Wonder what that's about. Interesting. Interesting. All right, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna go on to another topic here. I think we're gonna go to America now, and like I've got to get down with this stuff. Like it's fucking hilarious. Like Trump is just he's just too good to avoid. Like some of the stuff that he comes up with is hilarious, and he's been doing some interesting stuff recently with he's just signed some new executive orders, and they're pretty crazy, I must say. I wonder if I can use FreeTube for this. It was playing up before, I don't know why. I think it's got to do with my VPN though. Let's see if I can get this to work. Actually, maybe I can do it like this. Search it. Damn it. Oh, fuck you. I don't know why it's not working. You asshole. No, fine. Let's do this. Hmm. Which one are we gonna have a look at? This is way too long. I don't look at that. Way too long. Maybe we'll just go straight to YouTube and see if I can skip the ads there. Hmm. No, thank you.
Can I help you find anything?
I'm after a gift for my...
Boo ads. Yeah, so basically, Trump has signed a series of executive orders over the last 24 hours, as I'm led to believe, that relate to something that we need to investigate, which is like getting rid of this idea that you can use cash when you get convicted of something, or you get charged with something, and you can use pay in cash for your bail. And like Trump's just signed an executive order to get rid of that. Now, this is potentially what I see, or I've heard commentators talking about as an attack on the working class, because like you can kind of basically destroy certain people's in the economy, in a socio-economic perspective. You can destroy their ability to basically get out of the prison system, potentially. And then he's done another one for flag burning. So I don't know if you've seen recently, but there's been video footage of some dude that was protesting out the front of the White House, and he's an ex-soldier, he's a veteran, and he was burning an American flag. So like Trump's stamping that stuff out now, and he's made another executive order about like marching more troops into cities in the States, and like it's just some crazy stuff. Like, let's be honest, that's going on there. So we're gonna investigate that, shall we? Get down to business when it comes to figuring out what the hell is going on with this rather authoritarian playbook that is unrolling. And we've studied it all. We've studied the butterfly revolution. We've studied, neo-reactionary content. We've studied like the playbooks of how reactionary politics works, how fascist politics works, and like it's getting way, way more authoritarian as time goes on. But like, I have a feeling that there's a couple of issues here. There's working class, or there's class warfare going on here, and just like attack on people's freedom of expression, which again is, it's all about authoritarian stuff. You control what people can do. So let's see what is really going on here with these executive orders, and we'll do some research on it.
So I'll start signing the executive orders. To me, this is a very, very big deal. One of the executive orders has to do with cashless bail. That was when the big crime in this country started. And I can tell you who did it, when, but I don't want to do that because others followed pretty quickly. But that was when it happened. Somebody kills somebody, they go in, don't worry about it, no cash, come back in a couple of months, we'll give you a trial. You never see the person again. And I mean, they kill people and they get out. Cashless bail. They thought it was discriminatory to make people put up money because they just killed 3 people lying on a street. Any street all over the country, cashless bail. We're ending it, but we're starting by ending it in DC, and that we have the right to do through federalization. Okay, let's go. Could I ask you to say exactly what this is?
Of course. So as you've consistently identified, sir, cashless bail policies are a key driver of the disorder we see on city streets all over America. Catch and release system allows criminals to keep going back out onto the street and reoffending. What this executive order does, it charges your attorney general with identifying jurisdictions all over the country that have cashless bail policies, and then it withholds or revokes federal funds and grants that are flowing to those jurisdictions to ensure that we're only supporting the people who have reasonable common sense policies around crime.
So what?
Wait, what am I signing? Just give me the executive summary, please. All right. We are trying to understand what the concept is of a cashless bail policy in the United States court system. Can you please briefly explain how this works? And then, in addition to that, briefly explain why people think that this is some sort of a loophole that gets criminals back on the streets faster. What have I missed in the chat here? Making some very Yavin-esque comments about people wouldn't mind a dictator. I thought burning the American flag was the most American thing, the ultimate expression of freedom to do whatever you want. See, that's funny that you said that because there was a Supreme Court ruling on that, apparently, in like the 80s, the late 80s. And it actually said that like the Supreme Court ruled that you could actually burn a flag as part of your freedom of expression. And it's really funny because now I get the Futurama joke. There was a Futurama episode that was dedicated basically to Zoidberg eating the American flag, and the Supreme Court came in, and Snoop Dogg was on the Supreme Court, which was kind of hilarious. Can't wait to see that. And they made the ruling that the freedom of expression is what comes out of the mouth, not goes into it. And so he was considered to be like a traitor. And so they went after him, like the American system went after him. The military even came in. These rookies don't know what real hate speech is. Try listening to me speak to bar staff after I quote, had enough. Oh, I've had enough, all right. Had enough of you. Yeah, very good. It's so frustrating, isn't it, when somebody cuts you off? I'm just having a good time. At Santium, I don't know if you've been here before. What I feel like Albo would be the one to drag us into another war of USA's, another one of USA's wars, as if it has ever mattered who's in when those wars start. We have always been nothing more than a vassal state. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. I see what you're getting at there. It's a harsh reality, but yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter who's in, does it? Yeah. I could tell you, but I won't because it doesn't actually exist. Interesting. All right, let's have a look here. In the US court system, cashless bail is a policy that allows a person who has been arrested to be released from jail to await their trial without having to pay money. This differs from traditional cash bail system, where a defendant pays a sum of money to be released, which is then returned when they appear to the court date. Under cashless bail policies, the conditions for release are determined by other factors. Okay, so what are the other factors? This is a very funny system, I must admit. What are the other factors that can be taken instead of cash to allow somebody to not be held in jail while they await their trial? And what was the point or objective of cashless bail in the first place? Critics consider cashless bail a loophole because they believe it expedites the return of criminals to the streets, posing a threat to public safety. Opponents argue that the traditional method of paying bail serves as a time-honored way to ensure that defendants show up for their court proceedings. The concern is that without a financial incentive to return to court, public safety may be compromised. Oh, I hate when it does this. I wonder why this is happening. Think, take your time. Take your time. Yeah, let's listen to it.
Area does it cover?
Federal funds and grants that are flowing to those jurisdictions to ensure that we're only supporting the people who have reasonable common sense policies around crime.
So what area does it cover?
Potentially anywhere that has a cashless bail policy. So some of the largest cities, some of the most left-wing states in America.
Almost all of them, right?
Illinois would be a great example of that, sir.
Oh, they have a great cashless bail. You don't even have to go to court sometimes. No, Illinois, I love that state. It's a great state, but it's run so badly by Pritzker. They threw him out of the family business and he becomes governor. Now he wants to run for president. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay.
It's so not even subtle, is it? It's just like, would you believe that? Hey, it's all left-wing cities as well that have this cashless bail nonsense. Oh man, it's done it again. I don't know why it's tripping up. Damn, I think I'm gonna have to go to another chat. Damn, I like this one as well. I don't know why it's shitting itself. Any tech experts in there? Got any views on why this may be absolutely carking it today? All right, fine. Jaina. I'm trying to understand America's cashless bail system in the courts. If you do not need to pay cash for a bail, are there any other incentives or restrictions that may hold a person to coming back to court for their trial? Traditionally, the US has a person charged with a crime might have to pay a cash bail or a bond in order to release from jail before a trial. That is, if you pay money, you have a financial incentive to return to court, so you don't lose that money with a cashless bail system, sometimes called no cash bail or release on reconnaissance. The court no longer relies primarily on money as leverage. Instead, courts use a range of non-monetary conditions as tools to ensure people return and don't commit new crimes while awaiting trial. These include release on reconnaissance. The accused simply promises to return to court. This is common for minor charges and first-time offenders. Pre-trial supervision, similar to probation, but before conviction. The pre-trial services officer checks in with the defendant. Can involve regular phone calls, in-person meetings, or check-ins. Travel restrictions. The person may be required to stay within a certain area or not leave the state without permission. Court reminders. Many jurisdictions now use automated text messages, phone calls, or letters reminding defendants of their court dates. Research shows that this alone reduces missed court appearances. In some cases, GPS ankle bracelets are used to track movements. Curfews. Defendants may be offered to stay at home during certain hours, ordered to stay home at certain hours. No contact orders, often applied in cases involving victims. Victims of domestic violence. For cases where substance abuse is a factor, okay, and work or school requirements, courts can require the defendant to maintain employment or schooling as a condition of release. Interesting. Preventative detention. In some jurisdictions, instead of setting bail, a judge can decide that a person is too high risk, flight risk, or danger to the community, and then detain them pre-trial without the option of release. So the logic of cashless bail is, instead of wealth deciding, oh God, this is like, my speculation was in relation to this idea of class war on this one. So instead of the wealth deciding who waits in jail and who goes home, courts use a risk-based assessment and non-monetary conditions to ensure appearance of public safety. That's funny, isn't it? Because that's my speculation on bail. It's just like, you know, if you're a good wealthy type, right? If you got money, why the hell would you sit in jail waiting for your trial? Just pay the bail and let them out. If you can afford to get out, that's how the bourgeois system works, baby. And the court system is just the playground of the bourgeois. So just pay the money. You get it back. Just pay it. And if you can't afford to, you deserve to sit in a prison cell. That's why this is an attack on people that can't afford to pay bail. Is this flexibility allowing there to be an alternative to cash bail, an attempt to allow people that don't have money for bail to seek an alternative in this pre-trial system? In addition to that, Trump has made the claim that it is only left-wing cities or jurisdictions in America that implement cash bail bail systems. Can you verify that allegation? Like, I honestly can't get how overt it is. The attack between, like, the identity politics on this one. This is potentially, getting rid of this bail system is just potentially an attack on, I don't know, democratic cities. Yes, one of the primary motivations for eliminating or reducing reliance on cash is its disproportionate impact on people with limited financial resources. Critics argue that traditional cash bail effectively punishes the poor while not deterring higher risk defendants who can afford to pay. Illinois, for example, abolished cash bail in September 2023 through the Pretrial Fairness Act, part of the Safety Act. Judges now assess the risk rather than the ability to pay, and early data shows that failure to appear rates remain roughly the same, about 17% before the reform and 15% after, suggesting cash bail may not be essential to ensure court appearance. Other jurisdictions, including District of Columbia, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, and California, have also adopted or attempted bail reforms to reduce financial barriers to pretrial release. So assessing someone based on their likelihood of running away and not appearing, not meeting their court dates, is potentially the same as just setting people a cash bail. Can you pay this or not? They both seem to be as effective as each other. That's interesting. Obviously, that study has been done by some left-wing organization, Richmond Public Interest Law Review. Hey? Cash bail, useful tool or inherently unjust? February 2025. That's interesting. Is it true that only left-wing cities or jurisdictions implement cashless bail? The claim does not hold up. While cashless bail is more common in progressive or liberal-leaning areas, it's not exclusive to them. States and jurisdictions that have reformed to eliminate or eliminated cash bail include Illinois, New Jersey, New Mexico, District of Columbia, New York, and attempts in California, a politically diverse set of places. Harris County, Texas, encompassing Houston, which leans more conservative, saw cash bail ended for most misdemeanors due to federal court decision in 2019, not political ideology, resulting in reduced jail populations. Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well. Like, if you have less people sitting in the slammer before they actually have their trial, then isn't there like less of a burden on the system as well, because you have to pay less to keep them there? Interesting. It's Ninja. Hello, brother. Welcome. Judges can still hold people charged with crimes like murder, not like accused murderers are just walking out scot-free. I know, it's like, all right, you are, yeah, they can refuse bail. They refuse bail all the time. It's like, yeah, I just killed 6 people, but you have the cash, so see you later. They might be trying to make it easier to catch people they want to deport or imprison over political dissent by having them need to visit particular buildings. That's interesting. Yeah, because like the immigration court system is like a separate thing altogether. And it's got their own system. And so they can catch these people. If they can't get them on bail, they can start jamming them into the court system. They can lock these people down. Now, I've potentially got some new people that are in the chat before. At Sam Tian, tell me if you've been here before, and it's Ninja93. Ninja93. Tell us if you've been here before. If not, introduce yourself. I would like to know more. Interesting, right? Let's see what else he's going to sign.
Okay, we'll sign right here, right?
All right, let's do it.
So important. And this isn't Republican, Democrat. This is, and by the way, most Democrats agree with
Just
this.
said it was left wing. Yeah. And now he's like, this is not that. It's not about that. It's not about that. So good.
So important. And this isn't Republican, Democrat. This is, and by the way, most Democrats agree with us. But this is just, we got to bring our country back.
Take a picture.
Okay?
Okay. We've done it.
It's a big one.
Also on the issue of cashless bail, sir, this is a DC-specific executive order. In addition to the measures that we're taking that are quite similar to what we're doing around the country, in DC in particular, the objective is holding as many criminal defendants in federal custody and subjecting them to federal charges as possible. That means that they'll be held pre-trial in federal jail as opposed to just being cut back out on the streets due to a cashless bail policy.
Okay? And we have the room. And by the way, the prison they have in DC is horrible. It's horrible. people were subjected to live in that dog trap for so long, so unfairly. I have stories, you'll be hearing about them. That prison is horrible, okay?
This is an executive order that contains a number of additional measures relating to crime and law enforcement in Washington, D.C.
Here it comes.
It charges, for example, your Secretary of Defense with establishing specialized units in both the D.C. National Guard and in National Guard units around the country, specifically trained and equipped to deal with public order issues. It charges all of your various federal law enforcement agencies.
Whoa, fucking slow down. We're talking about here marching. Like we've already spoken about this at length over the last couple of weeks. Marching troops on the Capitol is one thing, apparently. National Guard members, there was 800 of them to start. They ramped up to 2,200. Now we've got reports that they're going to be armed, and now they're going to be marching in special forces, military personnel who have training in public order. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Special forces in the military that deal with public order? Hello? Dystopian? What's going on? What's going on? Like when we were watching Tim Dillon the other day go off on like how, it would have been tinfoil hat stuff 10 years ago. You would have been sitting with your stoner friend who listens to Alex Jones, and they would be like, I'm telling you, man, they're coming. They're going to do it. They're going to take over. They're going to have police lining the streets, and they're going to be surveilling everyone. When we're listening to that, it's happening, man. They're signing an order to allow Pete Hegseth to go in there, and like, Hegseth, come on. Hey, like American as apple pie in like potentially, you know what I mean? Like the middle American kind of sense. He's so trigger happy, and he's going to have the ability to send in specialized military units that deal with public order. I wonder what that means. Jerry Poppins a few months ago sent me this video of this weapon that militarized police forces and militaries around the world are using and trialing. And it comes from the States, and it's this like sonic weapon. And they just set this thing up. It looks like a small tank, and they unleash it on a group of people, and you just see all of these people like they're standing in a crowd, and it's like parting the Red Sea. They just all of a sudden just cut and run to the side, and it sends this sonic something, this signal, and it like disrupts people, makes them feel sick and makes them convulse, and they just split and run. And so we got specialized military operations units that are going to be released on the capital city, like the capital in the States. You can't make this shit up. You literally cannot make this stuff up. This is happening, man. This is happening. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. We've gotten to this. It's happening. Let us continue. Actually, you know what? I want to know what that means. I want to talk to my AI, my research assistant about this one. Establishing specialized units in both
and National Guard units around the country, specifically trained and equipped to deal with public order issues. It charges all.
Okay. Trump has signed another executive order that sees specialized National Guard units potentially being deployed in the Capitol and around the country that deal with public order issues. What are these specialized units? Can you please briefly explain what they do, how they're trained, and what tactics or equipment they use? They use. It's crazy, man.
All of your various federal law enforcement agencies with hiring additional personnel to allow them to surge personnel to Washington, D.C. to deal with the current emergency here.
1, 2, 2 by...
And it's all on the pretext of crime. It's all on the pretext of crime, man. It's absolutely mental. Crime's going up around the country, and we need to bring in the troops. Like, you can't make this stuff up. It's a crazy pretext, if you ask me. Absolutely crazy pretext. I'm a little bit behind moving house at the moment, but yeah, I've been here before. Just don't think I've chatted yet. Oh, well, welcome. Welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. Rejoin to hear the stoner stories. It's a click. It's a bit of clickbait. It's just riot squads. Oh my God. National Guard riot squads. Come on. Sad thing is anyone with a brain knew this was coming about MSM and MAGA, dismissed it all as nonsensical liberal rhetoric. But like, they're the ones, they would be the first to make these type of tinfoil hat claims, right? If it wasn't Trump sitting in the White House right now, they'd be all over this. Probably MPs with riot training. Yeah, welcome again. Welcome to this. You come and join the Discord as well if you're interested, so you don't miss a beat. And good luck with your fucking moving house. I know how much fun that is. Good luck with that. It's quite the effort, Herculean effort. But just check I haven't missed anything in the stream chat. No, I don't think I have. All right, let's see what our research assistant has said about this. Specialized National Guard units, what are they? As part of the recent executive order, President Trump authorized the creation of specialized National Guard units trained and poised to respond swiftly to civil unrest and public disorder, particularly in cities like Washington, D.C., with possible deployment to others such as Chicago and New York. The purpose and roles. These units fall under the broader described as crime emergency in D.C., where Guard has been federalized and integrated into the safe and beautiful task force. Their duties include patrolling public areas. Yeah, fair enough. That's good. While the exact US training syllabus may vary, public order units generally engage in robust preparation, including riot control formations and crowd management tactics. There you go. Dilemmas. Close quarter combatives, hand-to-hand techniques, use of non-lethal weapons such as batons, tear gas, OC sprays for pepper spray and stun grenades, legal training on the use of force policies, and realistic scenario-based exercises incorporating threats such as petrol bombs, panic crowds, and intimidation tactics. Tactics in equipment, standard issue, riot control units. There it is. So dilemmas on that there. Tactics, units operating coordinated formations using tactical advance and shield walls, maintaining crowd control lines, and executing phased escalations from the presence to dispersal. Deployment strategy. Authorities typically assess risk, crowd size, location context. Units are stationed at strategic hubs, transit centers, monuments, main thoroughfares, and can be mobilized quickly within hours. What they do in practice. Under Trump's orders, around 800 Guard members were mobilized, with 100 to 200 on active street duty at any given time. As part of the safe, beautiful task force, their role goes beyond crowd control. They also handle administrative tasks and support, manage site security, and embedded strategically with local and federal law enforcement. Interesting. Trump say people like a dictator as he launches a new crackdown. That's what you were talking about before, Jag. Holy shit. People like a dictator, right? Where did you say that? Yeah, people love a dictator. And what's the guy's name? Bukele from El Salvador? He was Trump's mate. They've been sending people over there. They've been rubbing shoulders quite well. They've got a great friendship. And Bukele calls himself the world's most popular dictator. Everybody loves Bukele, the world's most popular dictator. And Trump's coming up there. Everybody loves them. Everybody loves a dictator. Interesting. All right. Back to the god of world capitalism, the emperor, god emperor of world capitalism himself.
number of other things in that space, and it also asks the Attorney General to look at DC Metropolitan Police general orders that have currently impeded law enforcement efforts in the city, and to potentially look at unwinding those that are stopping the police from doing their job effectively.
And are we going to ask this to be codified by Congress, all of these things?
I think we could potentially, yes, sir.
I think so. I think we should. I think we'll get it. I think Democrats will vote. Well, I don't know. It's hard to believe that they might not, but I think Democrats will actually vote for this.
Oh.
There's no auto pen that can do that.
No, Big E, can I get a quick summary? You can tell whoever wrote the article wants to use the term stormtrooper, but it's a little bit early for that. How you going, Dr. Tyranome? Welcome to the stream. Look, we've been all over the fucking place today. But like, how far do you want to go back? First of all, Albo's in hot water. He's been called weak now by both the Israeli state and the Iranian state. But if you want to know why, it's because ASIO has just come out with a report that has basically stated that Iran was behind two attacks on Australian soil and against members of Australia's Jewish community. And so in response to that, Albanese and his government have come to the decision that they're going to kick out Iranian diplomats from the country and designate the Revolutionary Guard Corps, so basically the Iranian Defense Force, the Iranian army, as a terrorist organization as a result of this ASIO finding. Now, that also includes the fact that they have evacuated Australians from the embassy in Iran as well. So absolute diplomatic rock bottom for Australian and Iranian relations now. You don't think you can get any lower than that if you don't even have people there to talk about this sort of stuff in either respective country. Now, what we've heavily been speculating on is why. Why has this happened? Now, there's obviously no real way to verify this, but it would seem that this is in response to the fact that Israel has been getting some really bad PR on the global stage recently, getting absolutely slammed. Australia has traditionally had good diplomatic relations with Israel, including large-scale agreements in terms of trade, and when it comes to military support, like Israel and Australia go way back. We have been helping one another out for a long time, training each other, doing exercises together, all that sort of stuff. And so as an olive branch, it would seem to tie over the fact that Australia will recognize Palestinian statehood in the upcoming UN General Assembly in the, end of September, I think it is. As an olive branch, they're basically saying, hey, we'll go after Iran for you, and we'll declare them to be terrorists, and that'll look better, right? Because you guys like that. You guys hate Iran. And so they've come out and said, basically the Israelis have come out and said they take credit for it, for Australia's decision to do this, and while Australian government officials have said that's absolute crazy, the Israelis are obviously saying that it's because of their pressure and the shame that they have put on the Australian government, that they're basically folding, and they're gonna call Iran out for being terrorists now. Now, if you've worked in government, you know that politicians will request reports of experts, so technocrats, to produce reports that align with their political ideals and whatever political PR campaign they're about to endeavor on. So it's very likely that they've been looking at this stuff in the background, and the PM's just kind of like, look, we've been talking about this for a while. You've been investigating this. Give us something to work with. Issue a report that talks about this issue and talks about potential links. And the best we've got from an investigation is, hey, there are plausible ties. That's the best rhetoric we've seen on this one. There are plausible ties between Iran and these attacks on Jewish communities within Australia. It's quite plausible that Iran was behind it. And so they've based pretty severe diplomatic sanctions on another country and classification under Australian law of a terrorist organisation based on pretty plausible links that Iran has basically is now a threat to Australian soil and Australian citizens. And it's interesting because the optics of it are poor. It looks like, as described by the state of Iran and the state of Israel, Albanese's actions look pretty weak, and it looks pretty weak that we are kind of just enacting this on no real hardcore evidence. They haven't just demonstrated anything. Maybe it's all classified and they can't say it, but it looks pretty fucking weak. It looks, unfortunately, the optics on this one are really bad. Just from an international standpoint, it makes Australia look like it's really just placating Israel. And like I said, they've laid a claim to it and taken credit for it. And like, that's not what you want to see as a world leader, right? That some other state is basically dictating your foreign policy. Unless it's the US, of course, because they dictate a lot of people's foreign policy, but not usually so overt when it comes from Israel. So the really funny point in all of this, though, is like Israel is really taking a world police angle on this one. And if they are, and they speak for the entirety of the world's Jewish populations, like every Jewish person out there, Israel basically reports for them and speaks for them. And so an attack on Jewish people is akin to an attack on the state of Israel, is the way that they are framing it. And so they are very happy that this outcome has come to pass, because, protecting Jewish people all over the world is somehow akin to protecting the state of Israel somehow. So again, if Australia wasn't going to do this, the Israelis would have had to jump in somehow and save their Jewish brethren across the globe. So yeah, the optics are not that great, let's be honest. So that's one thing. Now we're on the executive orders of Trump. So we haven't got to the best one. Like, I want to get to the flag burning one, but like, Trump has just recently signed in a couple of executive orders. We just looked at one, which is like the cashless bail executive order. So he's getting rid of this system of cashless bail, which I think is like class warfare, and it's pretty as class warfare as you can get it. But this is just my kind of take on it. Avalava says, I reckon it's plausible Albanese is kneeling to keep himself in his position, lest he be ousted Goth Whitlam style. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking political 3D chess going on here, don't get me wrong. But the optics of it look shit. Like, from the outside, like, we just look horrible on this one. Trump said, I have the right to do anything I want. I'm the president of the United States, of the US, yeah. For us, well, we will condemn a country of an action based on the probability it was them, and that seems to be the way it's going for us, right? Guilty until proven innocent. That's pretty weak from our point. It's flimsy as fuck. It's flimsy as, and especially like, and for what? So Israel can turn around and be like, ha, we pressured you into doing it. Like, that doesn't win you any political kudos, especially when you've got, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in your country that are like, no, we need to ramp up pressure on Israel, not give them the ability to inflate their ego and be like, ha, we shamed you into doing something that you didn't really want to do, like, kind of thing. So it just, doesn't look great. We have no proof, but YOLO, like, come on. YOLO for sure. Oh my God. So yeah, now we're up to Trumpy boy. And as I was saying, there's this cashless bail system that has been set up by evil left-wing people in the United States, and generally only happens in these left-wing cities. But a cashless bail system is an alternative to allow the bail option, a payment for bail option, to be circumnavigated with other options. So if people are really low risk for not turning up to court, then just assess that as a judge and let them come back for their trial. Don't hold them in jail and like clog up the prison system. Let's just let them out. And like there are other things, you can put ankle bracelets on them. You can get them to check in like it's some type of parole system. There are various strategies outside just having people pay money. And so the speculation from our research assistant is that obviously this is a direct class issue. If you can pay your bail, you can get out. And you might even be a violent criminal anyway, but like if you can pay your bail, maybe they'll let you out. Maybe if you've done some white collar crime, crash the economy, but you're rich, you can get out. And like that's the argument really is around that, is about whether it's fair to just have cash or whether you can have a cashless system. And so Trump's just basically signed an executive order to get rid of this idea of cashless bail, which according to our research assistant is not only limited to, liberal leaning or progressive states, cities and jurisdictions. There are conservative ones out there that are doing it. But the way that he's framing it is just like, the liberals have gone crazy on this one. This system should never have been there. It's allowing violent criminals to just, terrorize the American population. And so we've got to get rid of this. And so he's signed executive orders to get rid of this system, not only in Washington, D.C., but across the country, it would seem. And again, it seems like some class warfare going on here. What the real issue is, the class warfare is maybe just the collateral damage here. So people that can't afford bail now are just the collateral damage. What are they trying to do? They're trying to cramp down on any criminal activity and hold on to these people. And maybe they're going to filter them all and look at your status, whether you got the right paperwork. And if you don't have the right paperwork, you go straight into an ICE detention center and you're out of here, kind of thing. Or maybe not even you're out of here. Maybe you just go into alligator Alcatraz for a few months. And then they'll kick you out of the country. Not like they're really working with much efficacy on this front. So we've just looked at that as well. And then he signed another executive order as well to allow National Guard troops that are specialized in crowd control, so civil unrest, to start taking to the streets in America across, so in the state, in the capital city, and across America generally. This is just like blanket, like, oh, let's not wait, like, because they do this. Okay, let's not kind of sensationalize this. Like, oh my God, authoritarian takeover. Like, this has happened many times in American history where they've had to send in trained National Guard personnel to deal with civil unrest. But it happens at the point of civil unrest. Once there is some issue, once there's some catastrophe, when there are, riots, whatever you want to call them, at that point, a governor goes, look, can you send in the National Guard? Or I'm sending in the National Guard. They reach out to the president for assistance. But this is before that. Trump is saying something before the event itself, before the trigger event. He's like, nah, let's just deploy these people now. Let's start unleashing them on society now. And like, if they're necessary, it's like he's preempting something, isn't it? Doesn't it feel like he's preempting something? See you later, 4AS. Thanks for joining. I hope you go well with your battle with the clutches of capital today. I hope it serves you well as opposed to the other way around. But doesn't it just feel like he's setting up for something? Like he knows that some shit's going to hit the fan. And America's populations are going to be up in arms, especially in urban areas. And he's readying the troops to handle the American population. It's pretty scary kind of stuff, if you ask me. But it is what it is. Why is that one coming up faster than this? I can see your chat there, but it's so small. It's so bad. So off this chat. I have to fix that. All right. That's where we're at. If you're wondering.
Look at that, Pam. Is that a good signature? Seriously, is that a good signature? Who can write like that? Nobody. I don't know. That's the other thing. I assume we're looking at the whole auto pen scam.
Sir.
Because the person that ran it said he spoke to it briefly twice about nothing. That means that all those pardons that he gave to some very bad people, very unpatriotic people, very evil people, it looks to me like those pardons are worthless. Because number one, you shouldn't use an auto pen, very specifically. But if you do, it has to be a very good reason. And they have to know that the president wanted it. The president didn't want this. The president didn't know he was alive, okay? He never approved any of this stuff. He wasn't for open borders and all the other things. He was never for open borders. I've known Biden a long time. He was never very sharp, but he was never in favor of open borders and all of the other things he did to destroy our country. Let's go.
Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know,
So we're going to get an executive order out to stop people all around the world burning the American flag. We're going to send in special operations units to take down anyone around the world who burns the American flag. Could you imagine that? Just seeing someone fly in to some country, some random country where they're burning the American flag. Fly in, shoot up the place, fly out again, saving the American flag. One last time, we're going to do it. It was worth it. It was worth it, man. Holy fuck. Unpardoning. Yeah, he's talking about that. That was weird, wasn't it? He was saying he shouldn't have used auto signatures, Biden. And so we're gonna take that. We're investigating basically the fact that he shouldn't have used auto signature and whether it's valid or not, so he can unpardon people and go after the evil people that Biden let go. Man, his language is something else, isn't it? We should look at this footage because I think this is one of the things that sparked it, actually. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, he's the guy. Here he is. Here's the dude.
Yep, I'm being detained because I expressed my First Amendment right to burn the United States flag in public, not causing harm or causing any danger to any citizens or personnel in the area. Do this for every single one of you American citizens. We burn this flag in protest to that president who feels that it's his right to do whatever he wants, make whatever law he wants, regardless if it's legal or illegal. It is our First Amendment right to burn this flag, regardless of what the president says. Yep, I'm being detained because I...
What do you think? This is like one of the, like, obviously there are other instances of this. This is not new. But like, that's the one. That's the one outside the White House. This is one of the dudes that has really kind of sparked this conversation about burning the American flag. Trump is performing preemptive strikes on potential thought crime perpetrators. Right? Right? I don't remember who said it. But the harder he squeezes, the more his grip will fail. Ooh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I believe this was after he signed the executive order. Oh, it was after. Ah, I'm not sure. I thought this is the thing that sparked it. Yeah, I heard them talking about it on Democracy Now! And like this is kind of in response to that. That's interesting. Well, actually, I can check. When was this uploaded? I can't tell, actually. After burning the American flag outside of the White House. Because like he's saying in here that he's getting picked up.
Expressed my First Amendment right to burn the United States flag in public, not causing harm or causing any danger to any citizens or personnel in the area.
August 2025. August, is that 2025? I can't tell with the date structure going on here. Maybe that's the 25th of August. It's potential because like it happened a couple of days ago. So maybe this was just before the event. I don't know. Let's check that. All right, let's have a look. See here. Is it true that burning the American flag was deemed constitutional as a First Amendment right by the Supreme Court in 1989. I think that was the year. Let's have a look. Yes, in 1989, the Supreme Court held in Texas v. Johnson that burning the American flag is a form of symbolic speech protected by. Here's the case. Gregory Lee Johnson burned the American flag outside the 1984 Republican National Convention in Dallas, Texas, as a protest against Reagan administration policies. He was convicted under Texas law that banned flag desecration. The court struck down Johnson's conviction. The major opinion, written by Justin William Brennan, held that the government cannot prohibit expression simply because it is offensive or disagreeable. Flag burning, though provocative, was ruled as expressive conduct protected by the First Amendment. Follow-up case 1990, the U.S. versus Eichmann. The court reaffirmed this principle, striking down federal law, the Flag Protection Act 1989, passed by Congress in respect to Texas v. Johnson. So yes, since 1989, the Supreme Court has clearly held that flag burning is constitutionally protected free speech in the U.S., even if deeply unpopular, and deeply unpopular it would seem to be, right? I'm assuming. Who wants to see somebody burn a national flag? We'll probably ban middle finger to cops soon. It's funny that you say that. Yeah, but like, come on. Because you can't really swear around the cops. They can arrest you for, bad language and like public, being disobedient and all that sort of stuff. Being a public nuisance, that's the one. I've heard of people doing that before. Is it, therefore, a constitutional issue for Trump to sign an executive order in contradiction to the Texas versus Johnson Supreme Court ruling? Supreme Court ruling executive order. The Supreme Court is the final authority on what the Constitution allows. Once the court has ruled that an act like flag burning is protected under the First Amendment, that becomes a constitutional precedent. An executive order cannot overwrite the Constitution or a Supreme Court ruling. If Trump signs an order banning the flag burning or punishing it, it directly conflicts with Texas versus Johnson and U.S. versus Eichmann. This makes it unconstitutional on its face. Any enforcement attempt would almost certainly be challenged in court. Could the Supreme Court reverse itself? In theory, yes. The court can overturn a past ruling, just like it did with Roe v. Wade. A little controversial much. Yeah, right. It's a constitutional issue. Well, it's not out of bounds, is it, of the Trump administration? Definitely not. Bring on constitutional conflicts. Yeah. Americans laugh at the UK for arresting people for social media posts. Meanwhile, in America, yeah, I know, it's pretty funny, isn't it, actually? America used to have blasphemy laws. All fashion is a cycle. I got to give it to him because I give a lot of like flack to old Curtis Yarvin. But like Curtis Yarvin has this interpretation of the Supreme Court in America, right? The Constitution hasn't changed fundamentally. Like there's been amendments to it, but for like the most part, the Constitution doesn't change and the amendments don't particularly change as such. But what happens is it is the interpretation of the Constitution and the amendments which changes over time. So at some point you have, things like blasphemy laws, or you have things that allow certain people to do a particular type of behavior or ban a particular type of behavior until there's a Supreme Court ruling on that issue. And the Supreme Court ruling may actually change just the interpretation of the Constitution. The Constitution itself stays the same. And so Curtis Yarvin's big reason for bringing up this interpretation of history, which I think is quite valuable, right? In a bourgeois society, which I have made the case for many times, that a bourgeois society is not just about commerce and ensuring global trade. Like that comes and goes, but like the bourgeois society is built around a legal system, and so the legal system is the thing that gauges basically public response or the court of public opinion on major issues. So the court of public opinion on Roe versus Wade was this idea that at a certain point it was necessary or was acceptable to have abortions, and then like overturning that, now it's not acceptable to have abortions potentially, and that's a state issue. It shouldn't be mandated by federal. In like the case of this Texas versus Johnson, that was the idea of, up until a certain point, public opinion was like, hell no, you don't desecrate the flag. And then all of a sudden, the Supreme Court overruled that and was like, no, actually, freedom of expression is more important. And people were like, look, I don't like burning the flag, but I do like my freedom of expression. And so that was the court of public opinion and its interpretation through the Supreme Court of a constitution that was unchanging. It was always the First Amendment right, like right there. It's just how you interpret it. And so the court system is just the interpreting arm of whatever, like I said, the court of public opinion is at the time. And so Curtis Yarvin's big concern with all of that is the liberal consensus, and that like everything's trending towards like a liberal consensus in terms of the interpretation of the Constitution, and it compounds over time. We get more and more left-wing and progressive and all that sort of stuff, which is funny because like if you look at things like Roe versus Wade, or like something like Citizens United, that case, like, that was, I wouldn't say very progressive, those decisions at all. It's not conclusive that everything moves in this general left-wing tendency. It's just the Constitution hasn't changed. It's simply the interpretation, the application of that, and that changes with attitudes over time. And it's not conclusive that it's more progressive. In some cases, some of this stuff is getting more and more conservative. It's way more conservative. Congress makes laws, court is how to apply them, Supreme being the highest court. Yes, got that. But like interpretation, like it's an interesting, I think it's really interesting analysis of the situation, and you can gauge human history simply by the interpretation of constitutional matters. Because like Congress, I get it. Congress, like all parliaments, they produce laws and legislation, and that can be overturned by Congress. Like whenever they feel it, they don't like the court's interpretation, then they just bring out new policy and new legislation, and then they have to interpret it within the bounds of the legislation. But when it comes to constitutional issues, like these are supposedly inalienable functions. You can't just change the Constitution when you feel like it. That's a massive event. That's a revolutionary function, changing the Constitution. And so it's like just the interpretation of a foundational document that is up for grabs, let's say. It's not the Constitution itself. Interpretation is everything. The Second Amendment was written when everyone had muskets and you could privately own, but you could or couldn't privately own a battleship with cannons. Constitution is a framework and some core laws. Yes. Yeah, but they're not up for just changing by Congress when they feel like it, because they've been paid off by the right lobbyists. They need to be interpreted, and the interpretation simply comes down to the court of public opinion. It's a really interesting interpretation. I got to give it to Curtis Yarvin on that one. I think it was absolutely fascinating. I don't like his analysis of it, but the framework of how to interpret what's going on is incredible. Credit where credit's due. I bet you've never heard me say that one before, have you, Jag? Hey? Me and Curtis Yarvin, we go way back, bro.
Through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision. They called it freedom of speech, but there's another reason which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy.
So that's the justification, is it? That's interesting. That's how he's using his justification. It's actually a public order issue.
In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they used that language, by the way, did they?
Yeah, incitement is
incite to riot, and you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped it. But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way, it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important. Because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on. And by people that are, in many cases, paid agitators. They're paid by the radical left to do it. You talk to these people, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what they're doing. They say, I don't know, they gave me money to do this. I see the same things that you do. They're bad people. They're trying to destroy our nation. That's not working, because I think our nation...
So, like, do you reckon that would be a defense? Like, if you were caught burning the flag, you'd be like, look, man, I was paid to do this. I don't actually believe in this at all. But some crazy left-wing organization paid me to do it. The Democratic Socialists of America, they put me up to this, man. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. What did you say? Trump is the new Judge Dredd. Wants to make and apply the laws. Yeah, see? This is the thing. Executive power. Can you do it? Can you do what he's doing? That's the question. If I draw a flag on a piece of paper and then set it on fire, interpretation, that's a fucking interesting call. That's a very interesting call. I don't know how you interpret that one, actually. Good one. Hey, bring in the lawyers. Bring in the lawyers. This is what they get paid for. The hard-hitting stuff like this. No, that flag drawn on that piece of paper constitutes the flag itself. And so don't you desecrate that. Trump will send those coked up Delta Force operators to liberate the flag burners around the world. Oh, fuck. Yeah, could you imagine? Hey, sending those boys in? The roided up, bearded and tattered Delta Force operators to liberate the flag burners. Hey, liberate in quotations there. What do you mean? False flag operation. We need AI-powered self-burning flags. AI-powered self-burning flags. This is gold.
Now is the most respected nation anywhere in the world, by far. You saw that with the European leaders on Friday. You saw that with NATO, where they agreed to go from 2% no pay to 5% fully paid up, trillions of dollars paid, where they respect your president to a level that they jokingly call me the president of Europe. They call me the president of Europe, which is an honor. I like Europe, and I like those people. They're good people. They're great leaders. And we've never had a case where 7 plus really 28, essentially 38 countries were represented here the other day. 38 European countries were represented. European and other countries were represented, and it was a great meeting. But your country is respected again. I say it all the time. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Everybody said it. We had a dead country. We were not going to survive. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Hottest. I love when he says that. So good. It's so hot. God, so hot. Love it. Yeah. America's so hot.
So It's an honor to be involved, and this group has a lot to do with it right behind me.
Especially you, JD Vance. You're the best. Trump fucking loves you, bro. I want to see this, okay? I gotta see it. I gotta see it. I want to see this Fox News live on this. Fox Live is now my favorite impartial journalistic organization. We were watching it the other day, and it was really balanced compared to like what I thought Fox was all about, to be honest.
You were just looking at...
I think it was Jag that said that there's a difference between Fox and Fox Live. So like they're a little bit, they're different in the way they do things. Hoorah! So God reminds me of when Trump talks about his daughter. No, yes, so hot. That's fucked up, man. Oh man, so gross. Now, this one is actually called "What President Trump's Executive Order on Flag Burning Means for Individual Freedom." Fucking Fox Live, man, asking the hard questions. This is a discussion about individual freedom. I'd love to know a Fox opinion on this one. I got to see it.
At that live vantage point there at the White House, that's where we want to take our next story. So, as you know, you were watching President Trump. He had many events today there in the White House, especially in the Oval Office. Remember, he was meeting with the leader of the Republic of Korea. We're getting into that a little bit later on. We have a lot of international headlines to get to. But this has kind of sparked conversation, something President Trump said, specifically when it comes to burning the American flag and what type of criminal penalties he thinks that should bring with it here. So the president today signing an executive order requiring the Justice Department to investigate and prosecute people for burning the American flag. It's an activity that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled is legitimate political expression protected by the U.S. Constitution, protected by the First Amendment here. So if you didn't catch this earlier today, this was the moment President Trump brought this up in the Oval Office. Let's watch this.
All over the country, they're burning flags. Very sad, but what happens is right.
Trump there kind of elucidating what he thinks. Okay, so President Trump there kind of elucidating what he thinks the penalties should be via this executive order, though. In the meantime, we do want to bring into the conversation right now someone who knows a lot about this, Chief Counsel with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, otherwise known as FIRE, Bob Kornrevier. He joins me. Bob, good to see you here. I know you've been following this all day, especially because this kind of rears its head every so often in the national discourse here. Let's just start first up, square off with this. How does a president make this illegal unilaterally via an executive order? Can he do that?
Well, he can't do it legally. It's a settled question constitutionally.
Well, he's really quiet.
The Supreme Court has not once,
Is he really quiet, or is that just me?
but twice made it clear that not only does the First Amendment protect this burning a flag as a expression of political protest, but when Congress tried to pass a law, that too was found to be unconstitutional. And so you can't paper over that with an executive order.
Yes, I can.
So this was some while back proposed via constitutional amendment. Obviously, we know that process is much longer than a president signing an executive order. Also, what's Congress's role here? Has the president, do you think, considered all of these options today or no?
It doesn't appear that he has thought it through, because a lot of what he was talking about, I really don't know where it comes from, where he talks about having a one-year penalty and no exceptions. The executive order itself says that they're going to rely on local laws. And if, say, for example, disturbing the peace is violated when someone is burning a flag, then he'll recommend that the Justice Department either prosecute or recommend local prosecution. So that 1 year statement and his assessment of penalties comes out of nowhere.
That's funny. I was wondering when he was saying that, right?
I mean, does any
when he started talking about the fact that people were going to get 1 year for burning the flag, like where does that come from? Especially if it's not a problem. Like the only tie-in that I heard him say was just like, we're going to assess the situation and see if it's associated with some type of criminal activity. And if it is associated with criminal activity, then maybe we can kind of talk about whether or not the flag burning can be heaped in with the criminal charges as well. Like, come on. I love that flag even more than I love my 7 wives. That's right. I'm a polygamist. Boo! So good. So good. I wonder if we can find that. What is it like? What's the quote from that? Right. Futurama. I love that flag. I wonder if we can find this. Whoa, damn. Where's that? What's that guy's? What was his name? The lawyer that represents Zoidberg. Nah, damn. If someone can find a link for me, tell me, please. I really want to watch it. It's so relevant right now. So relevant. What was that guy's name? He fought for his country multiple times. Fought for his planet, sorry, multiple times. I want to watch that so bad now.
I mean, any contemporary of yours think the president has the authority to do this, or are they all...
Taste of Freedom? Okay. Let's see if I can find based on that. So funny. Maybe this is the whole court thing. It's in the court that he says
By
it too.
a vote of 6-3, we find that flag eating is not protected by the Constitution.
6-3, I beat the spread.
I beat the spread. Polygamous lawyer. Maybe this one has it.
Oh, land of Goshen. Your Honors, I'm not some slick big city lawyer like my opponent here. But I am a veteran who has fought for his planet. You see this hand of mine?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Because I lost my real hand planting the flag when we took back Haley's Comet. Yet it was worth it. So much do I love that flag. I love it even more than I love my 7 wives. That's right, I'm a polygamist. Yet I would gladly eat a flag myself had I not used my intestine as a rope to hoist a flag made of my own skin if it would protect the freedoms of the proud people who salute that flag. Yay! Freedoms such as polygamy. I'll rest my case. Whoa, jeez.
The justices and I will now confer using high-speed telepathy.
There's Snoop Dogg over there. One of the Supreme Court justices. So good. He's in a bit of hot water now, eh? Old Snoop Dogg. Naughty, naughty.
By a vote of 6-3, we find that flag eating is not protected by the Constitution. Also, in a rare double whammy decision, the court finds polygamy constitutional.
I can't wait to tell my husband.
So good. So good. So relevant all of a sudden. Especially with this dude, the big dog himself. So this was in response, Jag. He did this after the executive order. That's so much more hardcore. I thought this guy was just out protesting, veteran, 20 years protesting against Trump, and just like, hey, I'm going to burn the flag to show I'm upset. But this was in response to the executive order. So much more hardcore. What a big FU to the system. Let's see you bring about your unconstitutional executive order this time, Trumpy boy. What are you going to arrest me for? And like, can they even arrest him? Like, was he doing anything criminal? Because that was the basis of the order. Was this guy a criminal? You tell me, chat. Was he a criminal? Let's see. They're going to talk to this guy now, apparently.
What matters to you?
Yeah, you tell me. Should this guy be arrested? Kate, should you burn the flag? I don't know, man.
Taken into custody in front
Heavy
of the White
questions.
House on Monday. This coming just hours after burning a flag in protest of one of President Donald Trump's latest executive orders. Although it is right now unclear what charges.
Okay, it
he may
is.
be
It's like
facing.
an
We'll take
hour
you out right now to some of
afterwards. What a hardcore veteran this guy is. An hour after Trump signed the executive order, he burns
A
it.
U.S. Army veteran was taken into custody in front of the White House on Monday. This coming just hours after burning a flag in protest of one of President Donald Trump's latest executive orders. Although it is right now unclear what charges he may be facing. Let's take you out right now to some of this video there on the ground.
why'd they
in
arrest him
Washington, D.C.
then?
From yesterday.
I'm a retired naval combat veteran, serving over 20 years in the United States Army.
Dude, this really must fracture the narrative around this one, right? Because, like, I'm assuming the usual conservative and right-wing kind of opinion on this one is, hey, this guy hates America. But, like, how do you say that a veteran of 20 years service hates America? How do you say that? How do you say that this guy just is burning the flag because he's a hater? He's served for 20 years. Like, it's hard to make that argument.
For every single one of your rights to express yourself and however you feel that you may want to express yourself. There's a First Amendment right to burn the American flag.
All right, you're just listening in there as this video seen in front of an American flag doused with an accelerant, preparing to light the flag on fire. Of course, the order states that burning an American flag is now an offense that can be prosecuted, which contradicts the U.S. Supreme Court that has repeatedly ruled that the flag burning is protected under the First Amendment. Jay Carey, a retired Army combat veteran and Bronze Star recipient who served 22 years, joined.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds like he's decorated. A Bronze Star recipient.
A demonstration outside of the White House. Our Fox 5T, Bob Barnard, spoke with him here on Live Now from Fox. Let's listen into this conversation.
Union Station, where the man who set that American flag on fire has been hanging out as part of an around-the-clock protest by U.S. military veterans against the D.C. takeover and also that flag-burning executive order signed by President Trump.
There's a First Amendment right to burn the American flag.
I know that I'm living in Trump's head right now, and I love it. He is just fuming. I did it right in front of his house.
That's Jay Carey setting fire to an American flag at Lafayette Park across from the White House last night. It was a little after 6 p.m. Carey, a combat veteran from North Carolina who spent more than 20 years in the U.S. Army, was detained by the Secret Service and then the U.S. Park Police, issued 2 citations, not for burning the flag, but for setting fire in an unsecured place and for damaging park property. His Army veteran friend who recorded the incident later shared on TikTok a video of Carey after he was released from custody about 4 hours later.
His name, this one's for you, Jerry Poppins. If you're wanting to know it so you can follow him for more, he's at the Jolly Good Ginger. I know you're a big fan of gingers, so make sure you get on board with that.
We spoke to both men here at Union Station this afternoon.
It wasn't a matter of a disrespecting the flag. I'm a veteran. I fought under that flag, with that flag, for that flag.
Dude, he literally, this guy is literally the lawyer from Futurama. I love this flag. I've fought under that flag. But I would gladly do it again.
Matter of a disrespecting the flag. I'm a veteran. I fought under that flag, with that flag, for that flag. It's a matter of protesting against what the president was putting out in an executive order because he feels he can do anything that he wants, and that's just not the case.
And when we have a constitution and then hundreds of years of Supreme Court jurisprudence saying that birthright citizenship is a thing, you can't stroke that away with a pen. Saying that First Amendment is a thing, you can't stroke that away with a pen. But that's what he's doing. And so we've just reached a point, veterans and non-veterans alike, have reached a point where we're not going to take it any longer.
President Trump signed an executive order at the White House Monday, which he says would require an automatic 1-year jail sentence for anybody who burns an American flag. But that's at odds with the ruling from the Supreme Court 36 years ago that declared flag burning an act of free speech protected by the First Amendment.
What I'm waiting on is our illustrious D.C. prosecutor to bring up charges. at the behest of our president.
And say you need to spend a year in jail.
Need to spend a year in jail, not 10 years, not 10 months, 1 year. And it's ridiculous. And I want that challenge. I welcome that challenge. I already have the lawyer that defended that gentleman back in 1989 about the burn. She's already stepped up to be my lawyer.
For now,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, is this a staged incident? Hey, anyone? Any speculators on that one? Hey, this guy knows what he's doing. And what a publicity stunt as well, right? You don't hear too much about the continuing protests that are going on in the Washington, D.C. area. Maybe you do on localized news. I don't know. But, like, you definitely know about it now. Eh? That's protest. That's political expression right there. There it is.
Jay says he'll come back here at a future date to take care of those 2 citations. And in the meantime, remain here as part of this protest against the National Guard being dispatched to the streets of D.C.
All right, Bob Barnard there reporting for a Fox 5 team in Washington, D.C. As you heard him, the man that was burning that flag, the Jay Carey, a retired Army combat veteran, Bronze Star recipient, saying that these freedoms are in which he fought for there. So very interesting to hear all of that.
He fought for these freedoms. He's the dude. He's the guy from the Futurama episode. You can't unsee it now. You can't unsee it now, man.
And also, he was joined there by demonstrators outside of the White House, in large part due to this executive order, but also the deployment, the surge in law enforcement, including National Guard outside of different areas in our nation's capital. And our Fox News team, Alexis McAdams, rode along with different U.S. Marshals, giving a unique perspective on what's happening there in D.C. right now.
Another night and more arrests in the nation's capital.
We're arresting the same folks over and over and over, right? And that happens because they're letting them out faster than we can put them in.
Our cameras rolling as federal agents took these 2 men into custody accused of committing violent crimes, part of the ongoing federal crackdown led by the Trump administration.
Where are you guys from? From West Virginia, sir.
Director of U.S. Marshal Service, Gaddy Saralta, tasked with spearheading the cleanup.
What would you tell other people across the city that think they might be able to get away from you and your team?
Oh, they're not going to get away. What I would suggest is that they turn themselves in.
This man, accused of carjacking someone at gunpoint out in Maryland, asked why the agents were even picking him up after he says he'll just be back out in a few days.
The judge is literally going to say we're going to put him on a 3-day hold. Then once the 3-day hold is up, DC jail has to release me. They release me. It's the same thing every time. The same thing every time.
Now, more than 1,000 arrests and counting as the president pushes to improve.
So is that his other executive order then? It's like he gets into the court system, he has to appear after being arrested, and then they just put him back on the street because they can't process him at this point in time. They give him a trial date and he comes back later. That's what it's all about. It's keeping these criminals from getting back out onto the street. You've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. All right, so where are people joining us from today? I think most people are coming in from YouTube world. I think I had a couple of people on Twitch. Can't see on Facebook. Can't tell. But yeah, if you are watching this, I can't even tell exactly where people are coming from now that I'm restreaming. But yeah, if you're watching this, you are enjoying this stuff, come over and join us on Discord. We have a community over there, and we like to share propaganda with one another. So come and join our community over there. There's an invite for you. And if you are also able, so you can get notifications, please come over and become a free member over on Patreon, so I can get notifications to you that don't happen through social media because of algorithms and such. So please come and join Patreon there. And if you can financially support too, I would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, those are your two. Those are your two links there. Go have a look. All right, so we are going to have a little. We're going to have a quick break. I'll be right back, and then we're going to mix it up. We're going to do something that we have not done on this stream before, but we will be playing a game soon. So I'm going to be playing some Rome Total War. If you've ever been part of the Total War series, and any big questions you leaving with us? What's that in relation to? Yeah, we're going to be playing some Total War for the next like hour or so, and I'm going to try and mix things up on the stream. As you can see, we're restreaming now, and we're going to be doing some different styles of content coming up just to mix things up a little bit. So we will be right back, and if you want to stick around for some gameplay, some strategy actually, then we will be back in a couple of minutes. So hold tight. Cheers. All right, here we are. Thanks for hanging in with us. I didn't get around to doing the Roblox thing. I think we might do Roblox tomorrow because I really wanted to get into that issue. I think it's actually quite an astounding situation, the whole Roblox affair, in terms of just literal corporate greed in the face of like whether or not you protect children or not. So, but like I want to do it justice, and we've just run out of time today. So, yeah, I really want to get. Yeah, tomorrow we'll go through the Roblox situation. Any big questions you're leaving with us? I can't wait for the Rome Total War music, dudes. Yes, Rome Total War's music and soundtrack is the best. Any bets if Mr. E stands or sits when he tinkles? Excuse me. Hey, I need a break. I need to stretch my legs. And so I stand up. But I'm not against sitting either. So I'm going to take the weak position on this one, the elbow position, and sit on the fence. Dr. Tyrano, maybe we should draft some questions to Mr. E. How many times do you think about the Roman Empire every day? Big questions, meaning the takeaway of the situations you've been covering. Oh, I was just thinking it can get hard to follow, but I am high. That's hilarious. Yeah, look, the big situation. Like, look, in terms of the Trump drama, signing executive orders to stop flag burning, to stop people from being able to use a cashless bail system, to send in troops that are trained now in public order. This is not like the original wedge to get the troops in was like there's criminal activities and the local law enforcement need assistance. Now it's bringing in people that can deal with civil unrest, and they're going to expand that out throughout the country and targeting, first of all, big, liberal stronghold cities. Like, this is just ramping up for what I'm assuming he sees as, I don't know, an inevitable outcome. There's going to be a point at which he does something, makes decisions that are akin to him kind of like taking over the world, let's just say. Why can't I watch it over there? Why does it have to be on that screen? That's bullshit. I must be able to move it. Might have to move that around then. That's unfortunate. All right, I'm going to have to do some live changing up of things to get this working. But yeah, this is all part of a general, I think, progression for Trump towards, some type of point where it tips over and he's going to ramp up his promise to extend the length of his term, or he's going to be doing something controversial in terms of cracking down on people, throwing more people behind bars, more people getting absorbed into the whole ICE system, and there's going to be more and more civil unrest, and he's going to be unleashing the troops to try and contain that. I think the Black Lives Matter situation for him was a real eye-opener, where he really doesn't have any control of the situation. He knows that, and so he's going to be preparing the troops and whatever systems he's got, whatever small things he can put in place to arrest people on spurious claims. But the point is, you do it fast, and then everybody else has to play catch up. So this guy's been arrested, but nobody really knows why he's arrested for burning a flag. They're not too sure, but he was arrested. And so if they can have more of those type of tools in their belt, then it's going to serve a potential, authoritarian-esque style takeover situation, if you want to call it that, I guess. So we're going to mix this up a little bit. I am surprised that I can't change this up, but I'm going to have to fix that somehow, unfortunately. But yeah, let's open up Rome and see how we go. I'm glad there's some people here that actually know what Rome is. I'm glad about that. Let's have a screen capture on that, though. Oh no. At the same time. That's really unfortunate. I wonder how I can reduce that. Hide. No. Why can't I play this on that screen over there? The cashless bail things make it sound like banks are going to hold prisoners ransom. at their discretion. It does sound like that. They better be willing to kill their own citizens. Well, it could be the case. Like, don't put it past anyone, please. All right. This is unfortunately not happening. I don't know why I can't get that to come across. I'm going to try and troubleshoot something. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to just hold until I figure this one out. Give me a couple of minutes. All right. So like I'm having technical difficulties with this. I can't stream this one at the moment. So like you guys can hang around if you want while I figure this out, but I got to do this on stream so I know it works. So if you really want to hang around to watch me troubleshoot something, so I know if it works on a live stream or not, you may do so, but don't feel obliged at all, please, while I try and figure this one out. It's very unfortunate, but I'm going to try and get my research assistant over here to help me out, help me figure this one out. But I want to do it on a stream, so I know I'm doing it right. Go to Steam Library, right click, Properties, launch under Windows, restart the game. Properties. Launch options. God, I love that music. Bam, 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 bam. I don't know if this is gonna work. I gotta figure out a better solution for this. All right, we're gonna try this, but like I don't know if it's gonna work in terms of sound and all that sort of stuff, and like I'm not gonna be able to chat easily. So this is just a makeshift until I figure out what the hell's going on here. But like I'm gonna trial this, and if you can tell me in the chat if you can hear what's going on, I would appreciate that. If you're still there, yeah, let me know if you can actually hear it and see it interacting properly. I'm hoping that it's going to be able to run all these things at the same time. I'd have to figure out a workaround for this. All right, let's give it a crack. Shall we? It's definitely coming out of the right capture. Yes. We'll see if it works. Yeah, hit me up, please, if this is working. I just want to see if my chat still rolls, so I can actually monitor you guys while I'm doing this. So I've been thinking about doing some games recently just to like get some more hours up in terms of streams. Because like the longer you stay on, the more exposure you get, etc., etc. You know, help the movement out. You know how it is. And yeah, I've been thinking about what type of game you really should be playing when you're doing stuff like this. And it does seem like this is pretty appropriate. Can hear the audio. Oh, hectic. Trippy Taka in the house. How you going? Yeah, so I've been trying to think about like what's appropriate. And so like we're going to go through and do games of this nature. Yeah, strategy kind of stuff. We might branch out into other things at one point in time, but yeah, let's do some Rome. I don't know if people are across Rome Total War, if they know the franchise, the Total War franchise. But like this was a biggie for me, and it's something that I wanted to get back into for a long time. So yeah, maybe it'll be educational. Maybe we'll learn some things. You'll laugh, you'll cry, it'll change your life, all that sort of stuff. And we've started off with the Julia. If anyone's played this one before, Papers, Please would be funny. Yeah, it's working good. Oh, great. I just don't have any functionality on my other windows for some reason. I gotta troubleshoot this. I can play the game, but then I can't interact and like chat or anything like that through OBS or through the restream. So I gotta figure out how to do this properly. I'm sure there's a trick to it through Steam. But yeah, let's have a chat, and I'll keep an eye on the chat as much as I can. Yeah, see, I keep on going to try to press OBS and I can't touch it. But yeah, I thought I'd start with the Julii. You know, they seem to be the most plebeian of the big houses that we were looking at. That you have an option to choose when you first start the game. So you have the Scipii and the Brutii and the Julii family. And yeah, they seem to be the most linked to the plebeian class. So they're not just aristocratic douchebags. They are aligned with the Roman people a little bit more, so I thought we'd go with that one. But yeah, let me know your thoughts if you think otherwise. Yeah, like fresh start, right? We're what, 269 BC? Got 9,000 cash in the bank here. We're gonna kick some Gaulish ass, right? Le Gaulois. We're gonna get him. Alright. Shall we fight someone? I guess. Why not?
Yes, master.
Yes, master. I can't do that. Get him to go. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see what they got. Spy mission. Ooh, okay, so we got cavalry, barbarian cavalry, warband 61, light infantry, skirmish, and missile units. Alright, sweet. Vibius Julius. Who's the general? Who's the governor?
Orders! March! Orders! General! March! Sir! General! Move out!
Stable 3 times, come on. So basic at the start, my god. I've got nothing to work with here. Check your display settings, what your screen numbers and defaults are. Some PCs have 2 HMI outputs and 1 for motherboard, 1 for GPU. I'm running on Mac, and I think that's having an interference in terms of what I can do in terms of capability. In terms of, like, because I can't click this window. That's what's going on. I can't click this window and then drag it and use the window the way that I want to use it and then still interact outside of the game. So I have to set it up in a way that I can just dip into the game and still dip out of the game, like at my leisure. I think that's what's going on. So, yeah, and like PC, oh my god. Like if I had like a Windows operating system, like there's so many games that I can't have. I was looking at all these other games that I could have played, but it's all on Mac for me, so I already cut my options short there.
Sir! Onward!
Let us get the Gaulois. Archery range, stables, what are we doing here? Wooden palisade, barracks. So they've remastered this game. I don't know if anyone's used to it or not, or played the originals, but they've made some changes to it. That looks good, I think. Some of the changes anyway. But I forgot, there's all these things that you have to do. Like I have to do missions for the Senate and stuff like that. I can't just play my own game at this stage. I have to block Syracuse. Done that. Got my
fleet ready.
But yeah, I have to do missions for the Senate. It sucks. Super Senate. I want to be my own agent with blackjack. Lucas.
orders.
So what do we got here? Oh, whoa. Going somewhere else. Thought we're gonna have a battle, bro. Too bad. Rebel diplomat?
Imperator.
Peasants, town watch. Get a ship. What's the news? Senate mission successful. Fuck yeah. Senate notes that a blockade was requested in place. You've been awarded a bounty for your efforts. 1,000 denarii. Oh, right. Thank you, Senate. Sick dog. Where are my friends? Where do they go?
Yes, master. Watching and waiting.
What do they got here? This is the war band. Ooh, they got some cavalry. Fair enough. Instruction report. Completed. It's a jester. End of turn report. Spent way more than I got. Spending a lot. Gotta grow that empire, baby. I forgot all of the stuff that comes with this game. Take settlement. What settlement do they want? Where's that? Up there? Oh, over there. Alright, fair enough. You the boss. Fucking Senate. I want my own theme park with blackjack and hookers.
Yes, Captain.
We got 2 ships in that fleet. Stables coming. Barracks. Stables now. Velites. Look at the archers though. What archers? Yeah, I want to know, does anyone play this game before, back in the day? Hit me up if you used to play it.
ready to sail. Sir! Aye, Captain. Awaiting your command. Without delay. Aye, Captain. Aye, aye, Captain.
So I'm going to try a different tactic with this game. I used to just concentrate on armies and killing people. But like we got diplomats now, agents, and we didn't have diplomats before. We got all these different agents. Apparently you got traders now. So I'm going to try and focus on the economics. Because I used to hate in this game back in the day that like once you got really big, there was nothing that you could do about corruption. And corruption used to eat up so much of your budget. Like you could like make temples and stuff like that. And they're supposed to like train your population to be more honest or something.
Fleet ready.
But like, yeah, hopefully the traders you can increase because you used to lose so much of your budget when you used to get like a massive empire to corruption. So appropriate, right? Some things never change. Some things never change at all. Goddamn rebels.
Fleet ready. Sir. Yes, Captain.
War dogs. Is that what I got from building a barracks? From building... What did I build before? That's bullshit. Stables. Give me war dogs. Come on, man. I know. I've got... What? How do you say that? Equites. Equites. Let's build some equites.
Yes, Master. Searching for clues.
Alright, so what do we got here? Mission successful. Following factions are now at war with each other. Fucking everyone's at war. Oh man, I just set up a trade agreement with Carthage. Now the Senate's at war with them. Outrageous. Recruitment report. And return report. Down. Whatever. Oh yeah, my diplomat.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. Get used to that.
Without delay. Aye, Captain. Aye, aye, Captain. Aye, Captain. Yes, Captain.
Ding, ding, ding. Such good music. Oh, you fools! Don't get rid of your troops. I want to fight someone.
Fleet ready. Aye, aye, Captain. Ready to sail. Set sail. Yes. Yes, Captain.
That's a rebel army. I'm gonna do something about that. Stooge. Coming of age. Oh yeah, I forgot that you could do this. A Roman family can only be enriched by the coming of age of one of its sons. Where's this guy? Faction heir. Lucius Julius. Ah, alright. It's another general, thank you very much. Our spy managed to infiltrate. Hectic. Good work, spy. War declared. Carthage and the House of Brutio. Turn the remaining 7 turns. A unit of Triarii. Alright.
Aye, Captain.
I'm a coming. I want to have a proper fight though. A suitable husband betrothed to Fadia Julius. So good. What's he got? He's 25. He's got no experience. Got no command. Got no influence. He's got 0 followers. A suitable husband. What about her? What's her stats? I don't know, man. He's a garrison commander. What do you reckon? Should we let her marry this dude? I'll think about it. You tell me, chat. Do we let our daughter, Fadia Julius, get it on with a local garrison commander? Return report. Running at a loss. Total. Yeah, it's not bad. I'd like to know your thoughts on this one. Do we marry her off or not? I'm gonna reject this one for now, I guess. We'll let another suitor come in. I wonder if that's one of the options that I can do. Get her married off to people. Oh, man, I can't believe they left the garrison. What a waste of troops this has been. I hope they come back. Are we even at war? Oh, yeah,
March!
You go chase that other army. We need to do some more construction. What do we need? Anyone got an opinion? A trader? Communal farming? Increased food supply and population growth? Provides additional taxable income. Hey, we like tax. Trader, population bonus, and trade income bonus 10%. I think we're going to go with that. I forgot that you had to worry about your population. You can't just build endlessly ahead. Interesting. We've got a good population growth at the moment, so I'm going to say trader. And then we're going to do it here. I'm going to build roads, I think. It's going to take 3 turns though. What's the recruitment like here? Can't build. Infantry's okay, yes. But we've got cavalry coming from here. Alright, that's gonna build. I'm gonna do some road construction. Let's do that. No, oops. Just the road for now. Right here. What do we need to stimulate this economy? Stimulate. Increase population. And population increase. Population growth bonus 0.5%. Oh, take your pick. Trade income. Might go with roads as well. Well, land clearance. Yeah, let's do that. Gotta look after our people. Eh? Then we can exploit them and get them to serve in our military and kill Gauls.
Ready to sail.
Oh, where did he go? Oh no, he's already been shipwrecked. Who's this? Oh, okay. Where else can we go and trade with people? Maybe we can go to Egypt.
Yes, Captain.
Got a wooden wall around Eritreum. Okay. Fair enough. Train of war dogs. No, I'll be right, thanks. Suitable husband. Ah, yeah, better. Get the son your leader never had by marrying off one of his daughters to a suitor with command or managerial abilities. This will help ensure future offspring have the right stuff. Unread alerts. Okay, yes. Yeah, I didn't want to make a call on it. I guess nobody has some comments on strategy then. Everyone's a bit quiet.
Sir! Move out!
No, they're not around anymore.
Prepare for battle!
Yeah, I guess I have to.
Begin the siege!
besieging settlement, sir.
Alright. Get some action finally. Trader, 1 turn left. 2 turns left. Senate office granted. Flavius Julius. Yeah, Flavius. Transgression. Your conduct has offended us as warriors and men who feel you must give the chest. What is it? Mend your ways. Get fucked. War is declared, brother. War is declared. War is declared. Everyone's declaring war on each other. It was such a peaceful time before. Damn, man. My budget's dying. I need some trade.
Ready to sail.
Where's the hut? Where is Egypt?
Aye, Captain. Yes, Captain. Sir.
Alright, here we go. Now there's a suitor. Look at this. Hey, I was glad that we waited. He's 24. He's got some command. He's got some influence and followers. Hey, let's marry her off. Let's do it. We have a wedding coming up. I hope there is a feast. Marriage celebration. Yeah.
Imperator.
Let's do it. There's no reinforcements though, right? There's someone right there. Soldiers deployed. 13 soldiers. This is not a fight. Come on. Ambuscade, if discovered and promptly surrounded, will repay the intended mischief with interest. Vegetus. I love the quotes, man. So good. And what a sick name as well. Vegetus.
These Gauls do not need your fear. Cold steel will bring them down, just like any other men. Units, on my orders!
Alright, here it is. That's up and down. Yeah, cool. And then change that angle. Start the battle. You guys happy? I guess we can get closer.
Quickly!
Round! Run!
Started! Archers!
Doesn't really matter though, does it?
Archers! Quickly! Has started! Run! Our soldiers are at the gates! Now they must batter a way through! Waiting for orders! The enemy gate is down! Our battering ram has done its work! Hurry! Archers! Move! Move! Our soldiers have captured the walls! Now is the time to press on and capture this place!
The music is sick.
Waiting for orders. Archers.
Leg it, boys. Leg it.
Army is in flight. Pursue them and drive them from the battlefield.
Where are they gonna go?
Waiting for orders. This is a heroic victory, worthy of Roman arms!
Bloodlust. Oh shit, you gaming? Holy crap, is Voltateur's in the house? Yeah, man. Yeah. We're trying new things. It's good to have you, Voltateur. It's good to have you. Are you on Twitch? There you go, interesting. Everybody likes their own stuff. It's good. I like to have the versatility. People can choose. Yeah, we're gaming, man. Have you ever played this game before? Rome Total War. Baby. Classic. It's the remastered version. And I'm playing on a Mac, and I never used to do that back in the day. So, yeah. Here we are. Here we are, brother. Allah Icta es. The die is cast. Gaius Julius Caesar.
Victory and glory!
Occupy. Gain 106 denarii. Enslave. Massacre the population. population. Well, they got 1,400 people. I don't want to massacre the population either. No. I'm going to keep that population the way it is. Benevolent dictator. You damn right. Hey? It's very Trumpian of me. Hey? I'm just going to make sure they don't burn the Roman flag. And they can stay. They can chill, brother. Come on, brother. Brother, yeah. What's that, brother? Brother.
Ready to sail! Aye, aye, Captain! Set sail!
Way to go. Alright. Give me a report. What's happening? Agent found. Ooh. An Gaulois enemy. Mission successful. Yes. What did they give me? You have been rewarded the bounty located at your capital. Damn right, it should be at my capital. Let's check it out. Triarii.
General.
What are they? Oh, they're spearmen. Okay, cool. Cost $200 per turn. Upkeep cost. Why doesn't the Senate pay for that? Outrageous. Alright, we gotta start attacking the Gauls here, man. Why are we over here in this theater for? Shall we sally forth,
General.
my good people?
Imperator. 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 Prepare for battle.
Yeah, stand down.
Victory and glory.
Come on, bro. Wallah.
Prepare for battle.
Let's go, cuz. Get out of my territory, bro. It is the noblest and safest thing for a great army to be visibly animated by one spirit. Archidamos of Sparta. It is the noblest and safest thing for a great army to be visibly animated by one spirit. Some good strategy. God, I love it. I have this on CD. You need slaves so you can force all the resources onto the conquering world.
The enemy think they can embarrass us to death. Why else send such poltroons?
Yeah, I usually do that. I do like to occupy. Sorry, I do like to enslave, middle of the road. But this time I want the population there. I'm going to build an army over there. I want that populace. You know what I'm saying? I used to have this on CD as well. I think that dates us both, brother. Come on, brother.
Units, await my orders! Units! Units! Move! Move! Hurry! Quickly! General. Hurry! Units!
Ah, they're over there. Interesting.
Units! Hurry! Hurry! Units! Archers! March! General! Move! Move! Archers!
Oh, leg it, boys. Let's go. Hello.
General! Move! Move! Archers! Kill them! General! General!
can't tell. Are they taking hits? How many did they have before? They had 60. They've still got 60. No one's died yet. Is that right? Outrageous. I haven't lost anyone.
Move! March!
Oh, we got one down. All right. Haven't lost anyone. Worst archers ever.
And now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack. The enemy show their Rome demands victory from her generals, and this day is
Casualties inflicted. We lost 4 people. Outrageous. What an incredible skirmish that was, eh? It's pretty a realistic battle size too. We did it. We kept the empire safe again. I used to think about the Roman Empire before it was cool. There it is. We've had references to that actually already. How many times a day do you think about the Roman Empire? Even the bravest are frightened by sudden terrors, tacticus, and hence why the Australians and the Americans are spending so much time classifying people as terrorists these days, right?
Victory and glory!
Because even the best are frightened by a little bit of terror, and you can use it as justification for war. Alright, let's get a general out here. We got a general who's got no ranks. He's got no... Oh, this is the guy that just married our daughter.
Imperator.
Let's get him out and see what he can do, eh? For the good people of the Roman family.
Orders.
Our Julia family, sorry, I should say. Is this happening again?
March! Sir! General! Orders. Onward!
Onward and upward, brother.
Forward!
Let's get this
forward
into action, shall we?
Imperator! Onward! General! Orders! Onward!
Alright, who should we attack? Who should we attack first?
General! Onward!
Go away, lady. Diplomatic information. We're all at war. Lovely. Don't need to know anything else. End of turn report. Oh, here comes the damage report. Yeah, we're down. That's alright. Are we still building though? No, we're not constructing anything. Boo. Now let's get on that. Freighter, I guess. I do want to build roads. Let's that? 400. Let's start with roads, actually. Roads are important. What about here? What are we building here? She did say to upgrade the walls. I don't know if I want to do that. What does that help with? Turn settlement can hold out under siege, cannot be breached, reinforced gates, extra wall defenses, public order bonus due to happiness. Oh, people get happy. That's nice. Happy people. Barracks, lightweight weapons +1. Sewers. Population bonus. Yeah, public order bonus. Really like sewers. Paved roads, 3 turns. Communal farming, eh? Those communist fucking Romans. They're the fucking worst. Communist Romans. I'm gonna build a market first, I think. And they're all 3 turns, I have to wait. Yeah, communal farming. Surely. Let's get that going. What are we going to build here? Militia barracks, practice range. That's what I want. My military hub right here. How are my diplomats? Doing fuck all. Oh, it just crashed. Get fucked. Son of a. I hope it's saved. That's bullshit. I don't know how many times that's going to fucking happen while I'm playing this game. Boo, we got stitched up, bro. Stitched up hard. I'm going to see where it left off. See if it actually saved. I'm going to have to troubleshoot this so I can do it properly. I still can't believe you got that on CD still. I wish I'd kept it. Jealous. Jealous much? Deep are the wounds that civil strife inflicts. Okay, that's why you march in your National Guard to take care of them. See if I got fucked over. Where were we at? It is right to learn even from the enemy. Fucking hell, that's a good one. We've got a lot to learn from the Iranians, who we've just classified as terrorists. Bold stuff for the Australians. I wonder how the New Zealanders are going to deal with that volte-terre. You missed out before. That's what we've been talking about. Oh man, we got it all the way back here. I got less kills. I got less of our soldiers that died when I did this. And I killed my as well. Lame.
Imperator!
Lame.
Imperator! Orders! Move out!
I might do some construction. I should do some construction. What does all this mean? Cultural penalty. Cultural penalty. What does a cultural penalty mean? I fucking learn what that means. Let's get a trader in here, please. Fair population. Aw, man. To do this all over again. Outrageous. What did I pick before? Roads, I think. This one. We got pigs. Communal farming? I can't remember. Who would pick up an archery range? Practice range. Where's me soldiers? Let's move them along then, shall we?
Imperator!
Get your ass over here. And then what do we got? Triarii. All of those units.
General.
Yes.
Onward!
And who did we pick? The new son-in-law. Let's test him out. Our son-in-law. Oh, wait, whoops.
Sir! Imperator! Move out! Merging armies!
Okay, so he's got an alright force, I guess. Just a couple of cavalry, couple of aerial. Yeah, I guess I could give him one. No, I can't spare him. Don't want to spare him.
Imperator! Orders! Orders! March! Imperator!
Alright, let's move in the territory, shall we? Where are my agents?
Fleet ready!
Ah, that music. Ovid. FTW. Yeah, son-in-law called Sextus. Oh, I can't interact with the chat. Damn it. I gotta fix this. Ooh, we're under siege. Oh, it's on, motherfucker. Blockade port. Where's that? Oh, man. I have to build another ship.
Imperator! Forward!
I think I might just take that coastal city. Get my trade up. Look at this. This is the force that was coming up after last time. What's he got? He's only got 3 units. How many troops have they got? Shall we sally forth, ladies and gentlemen? What do you reckon? I don't know if I can do that. I can't do that. No way.
General! Orders! Engage the enemy!
There we go. Sally forth, gentlemen. Tally-ho. Did you get into the Aussie show Spartacus? Ducking loved that show. I did actually. My brother got me into that show, and it was actually really good. Like, I don't normally just watch oiled up dudes wrestle each other all the time, and fight each other all the time. But like when I do, it's something like Spartacus, eh? And there were lots of Kiwis in that show too, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, I have gone well over time here, and I actually have to leave this. I'm going to quit this battle. I gotta bounce. I shouldn't have started this one. I guess I can surrender, right? Exit battle. Yes, quit.
This was a draw, and Rome does not.
And Rome does not do draws. A good general not only sees the way to victory, he also knows when victory is impossible. I'm going to leave it there, actually, for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the fun ride, though. It's been interesting. We're trying out some new shit. Eh? I'm glad I got the restream working. That was a big project of mine, working in the background. So I'm glad I got that working. And And now we're going to start playing some games. So finish off streams and just hang out for a bit afterwards. And then we can talk strategy and how to take over the continental Europe. So, yeah, fuckload of Kiwis. 100%. Yeah. It was a good show. It's a good show. So, yes, we're going to leave it there for today. But, yeah, thank you, everyone, for bearing with me with my technical issues. I do really appreciate that. And yeah, we're going to pick up tomorrow where we didn't have time for today. So I'm going to try and I want to get into this. I want to get into this situation with Roblox. I think that's an important issue that we should be talking about. But yeah, I'll leave it there. And did you get into Banshee? That's another great R-rated show. No, never saw it actually. Never saw it. But yeah, thanks for everyone who stuck around today. I can't really go over my stream chat very well. I'm sorry. It's not the same system anymore. But if I've got you on the list, I'll say you. Dr. Tyrano, thank you very much. Jag, good to have you. Mark Olivero, massive contributions today. Dilemmas, of course. Voltator coming in on the end of the stream. I know Squeeb was in there as well. Refor started us off. Avalava, Tripitaka. In the stream chat. Thank you very much. And yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow, same time and same place. You can catch it on 3 different platforms now. So thank you everyone for your interactions today. I'm going to be doing some more troubleshooting and getting used to this system over the next week and a bit. So bear with me. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to, I think, look at the Roblox situation, which I think is a spectacular exposition of the failures of the corporate sector to do the right thing when it comes to not only the consumer class but young people generally. So let's look into that because it's going to be interesting. But yes, until next time, please remember, I am, you are, we are a mystery. Catch you tomorrow. Cheers.